Looking at the zoning map, the lots are zoned PR at 4 dwelling unit per acre. The addition of 2 houses would need to comply with the maximum allowable density. It's not annotated on the map, but the northern part of the subdivision is zoned at PR at a 5 dwelling unit. That is a separate zoning boundary. The property is classified as suburban residential place type in the Knox County Comprehensive Plan. Detached dwellings are considered a primary use in this place type. From aerial image, we can see almost the entire subdivision is built with only a few remaining vacant lots. The subject parcel abuts 3 houses on the north side, and as mentioned before, it abuts the common area as well as the detention basin to the west. Our final recommendation is pending, depending on what we receive from the applicant today. They may postpone the case to the May meeting, but we think that detached houses would be compatible with other single-family residents in this subdivision, and it is consistent with the comprehensive plan implementation policy too.
Okay, we're going to move on to agenda item number 44.
This is a rezoning on 14.13 acres from agricultural to planned residential up to 4 dwelling units an acre. It's located in Halls, the east side of Hill Road, north of Cabbage Wing. The surrounding properties have been transitioning from the agricultural zone to the RA low density residential zone and PR to up to 3 dwelling units an acre since 1985. Most of the surrounding subdivisions are single-family residential with some attached houses. PR is intended to provide flexibility for different types of residential development and encourage more imaginative solutions to environmental problems. There are some steep slopes on the property which make the PR zone appropriate to consider. Suburban residential areas are appropriate for primarily single-family residential development with lot sizes generally less than 1 acre. These areas may feature a range of lot sizes and housing size and styles. This property is within the planned growth boundary, and the suburban residential follows planned growth, and the rural living place type follows the rural growth boundary. There is a TVA easement that runs through the property. It's approximately 150 feet wide, so no structures are allowed within the easement. The recommendation is to approve the planned residential zone up to 4 dwelling units an acre because it's consistent with the comprehensive plan in the surrounding area. Are there any questions?
Okay, thank you, Whitney. We'll move on to your next one, agenda item number 45.
So this is a rezoning on 10.46 acres from agricultural to planned residential up to 7.5 dwelling units an acre. It's located on the south side of Millertown Pike, east of Presnell Road. So the PR zone is appropriate on this property because there's a blue line stream on the property, which allows the clustering of lots. And houses, duplexes, and multi-dwelling structures are allowed in the PR zone, which is consistent with the surrounding development. While a lot of the properties in the immediate area are zoned agricultural, Many of them are non-conforming to the minimum 1 acre lot size because they were created prior to this zoning ordinance. Most of the lots are, all these smaller lots are approximately 0.25 acres. This property is within the suburban residential place type. When the proposed district is partially related to the place type, one of 3 conditions shall apply. One of these is that the proposed zoning is compatible with the current zoning of adjacent sites. So we're recommending PR up to 4 dwelling units an acre here. We think that's more compatible with the current PR up to 4 dwelling units an acre of the adjoining site to the east. So in this case, this property is within the urban growth boundary with the rural boundary across the street. The recommendation was to approve planned residential up to 4 dwelling units an acre because it's consistent with the comp plan and change of conditions. Are there any questions?
Have you had any discussions with the applicant regarding 7.5 versus 4 units at all?
Yes, they said they didn't quite need 7.5, but I think they need closer to that than to 4 dwelling units an acre for what development they want to do.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, so this next item, we've added at the request of Commissioner Adams, just to provide an opportunity to ask any additional questions. This is number 46, it's 4X25RZ.
I was trying to, sorry,
That's okay.
I was trying to pull open KGIS, but I don't.
Yeah, we don't have a formal presentation on this one. Let's see, I'll pull it up too.
Does it drive?
To Windows and to duplicate maybe.
That one? Okay.
This one's along John Sevier
Yes.
Highway.
So I don't have a formal presentation. The request is to go from agricultural to CA, the general business zone. It's within the CMU place type on John Sevier. And we are recommending approval of CA. And it's kind of generally an industrial and commercial office use area. The lot is currently forested, kind of with some wetlands over here on the east side. I don't know if there was any specific questions.
You just mentioned the wetlands on the east side. Does
Yeah.
that preclude any kind of activity there because of the wetlands, or
I don't know,
does it?
engineering, what's the requirement?
Yes, any work in that area would require a U.S. Army Corps of Engineers permit, so that they couldn't fill it or work in it without a permit from them.
Yeah, it does look like it's been disturbed in the past, and looks like it kind of followed where the wetland was, that part remained undisturbed. So, but no, it doesn't look like anything was ever built.
I believe there would also be a 25-foot buffer around the wetland that would be do not disturb.
Okay, that's all the ones we have identified. Are there any other items that you all wanted to discuss before we conclude today?
Yeah, Amy, I'd like to ask about agenda item. I think it's Samuel's. I know they were requesting several things, including a rezoning to CG1. You know, I know that property just recently been developed. I think planning had granted a special use a few years ago. I didn't know kind of Do you know more information about
Yeah.
the reason for all that?
This one is, the applicant has requested postponement, so they did request after our deadline. So it will have to be voted on at the meeting, but they are considering some other options, which include probably potentially another residential zone, because we are recommending denial on this one. So there's still kind of yet to be determined on what they might come back with, but they have requested that you all vote on a postponement in 30 days.
Okay.
Are there any other ones?
We're adjourned. Welcome, everyone, to the monthly meeting of the Knox County Planning Commission. I'm Tim Hill, Chair of the Planning Commission, and I'll be conducting today's meeting. Assisting me today is Executive Director of Knox County Planning, Amy Brooks, and the Planning Commission Attorney, Tasha Blakeney. I'd like to call this meeting to order, and I'll now ask Mr. DeArmond to call the roll.
Commissioner Huber?
Here.
Commissioner Browning?
Here.
Commissioner Levinson?
Here.
Commissioner Boyer? Commissioner Barger? Here. Commissioner Overton? Here. Commissioner Perez?
Here.
Commissioner Anderson? Here. Commissioner Higgins? Here. Commissioner Biggs?
Here.
Commissioner Daly? Commissioner Gill?
Here.
Commissioner Midas? Commissioner Adams?
Here.
Commissioner Hill?
Here.
That's 14 present, sir.
Thank you, Mr. DeArmond. Participating today are planning commissioners as well as planning staff and various representatives of city and county agencies. The planning commissioners are citizens from the city and county who have been appointed by either the city mayor or county mayor. We receive no salary and volunteer our time as a service to our community. Now a word about how discussion will take place. After each item is called, I'll read the staff's recommendation. On certain items, I'll call on staff to comment. At this time, the applicant may address the commission or defer his or her remarks and allow any opposition to speak first. The applicant and those in support of the applicant will be given a total of 5 minutes to speak. I'll then ask for other comments from the floor. The opposition will also be given a total of 5 minutes to speak. If either side wishes to have an opportunity for rebuttal, you'll need to reserve time from your allotted 5 minutes. Please note that a timer will be displayed on the screen above me showing your remaining time. Applicants and citizens who registered to participate and are attending the meeting in person will be asked to come to the podium and share their name and address for the record where their item is heard. Those who have registered to speak online do not need to sign in at the podium. If you'd like to speak on an agenda item and have not registered to do so in advance, please raise your hand when the item is read into the record. I'll then indicate when it's time for you to speak, and you can approach the podium at that time. You'll be asked to sign in at the podium, as well as state your name and address for the record. If the Planning Commission decision on that item is appealed, and we need to notify you, we cannot do so without your name and address. Planning Commission may grant additional time for presentation of information. Speakers should limit their remarks to the facts of the case and should avoid repeating comments that have been previously presented to the Planning Commission. Because of the number of items that we have before us, groups in favor or opposed to an item have been asked to appoint a spokesperson to represent them. If you have any items that you'd like to make a part of the record, please submit those documents to knoxplanning.org/share. Please identify the file number and meeting date in your submittal. Hope all of you have reviewed the agenda package from Planning's website. In addition to the agenda, there's information on the website related to how today's meeting will be conducted, as well as correspondence on individual cases. Many of the items we vote on require further action by City Council or County Commission. For matters that are forwarded to the City Council for final action, the applicant or their representative should be present at the meeting at which the request will be considered. For matters forwarded to County Commission for final action, particularly rezoning requests, the applicant or their representative must, and I repeat must, be present at the meeting at which the request will be considered, or the case at minimum will be postponed. Applicants will be notified of the meeting date. If you have any questions regarding the meeting date or process, please contact planning staff. Today's meeting will be conducted in the order of the agenda. Please stand as you are able as Vice Chair Huber leads us in the invocation and Pledge of Allegiance.
Our Father, bless this community. Help to ensure the decisions today made this afternoon are fair, legal, and in the best interest of the total community. As always, keep us mindful of the needs of others, especially those who are in sorrow, need, sickness, or any other adversity. Amen. Pledge allegiance. to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next on the agenda are the postponement and withdrawal lists. I'll read these lists separately. Under automatic postponements, item 13, Linda Gass. Item 19, Ralph Smith, PLS. Item 28, final plat of Sycamore Breeze Estates. Item 30, final plat of Strawberry Hills Subdivision, Phase 3, Section B. Under automatic withdrawals, we have item 21, re-subdivision of Richmond Heights, Lot 5. Item 48, item 48A, Feshik property. Under 30-day postponements, these items will be voted on. Item 6, Knoxville, Knox County Planning. Item 8, Stephen Clare 1222 Development. Item 15, Amy Sherrill. Item 20, 355 South Gallagher View Road. Item 34, BT Davis Enterprises LLC. Chair will entertain a motion. Are there any other requests for postponement? Any other requests?
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Barger. Who seconded that? Okay, Commissioner Adams. Seconded by Commissioner Adams. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. We have no 60-day postponements and we have no 90-day postponements. Under withdrawals, item 41, 1222 Development LLC. Are there any requests to withdraw an item? Any requests to withdraw an item? Chair will entertain a motion. We have a motion by Commissioner Barger, and that was seconded by Commissioner Adams. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. We have no tablings. We have no items to be removed from the table. Next on the agenda is a consent list, which is composed of items marked with a C. These items are considered non-controversial and are voted on all at once in order to save time. Items are listed in order they appear on the agenda. Please listen carefully. Once an item is approved as part of the consent list, there will be no further discussion on it. Once an item is approved as part of the consent list, there will be no further discussion on it. Okay, said that twice. Item 2, approval of April 10, 2025 agenda. Item 3, approval of March 13, 2025 minutes. Item 5, R. Bentley Marlowe. Item 9, Garrett Jernigan. Item 10, Brandon Bolding. Item 12, North Creek Renovation and Construction, LLC. Item 14, Catherine Greer. Item 16, J. Scott Busby, AIA. Item 17, Mike Ballinger. Item 23, final plat of Maya Hills. Item 24, final plat of the Reserve at Three Ridges, Phase 1, formerly included re-subdivision of the Reserve at Three Ridges, Lot 134. Item 25, final plat of Strawberry Hills Subdivision, Phase 2, Section C. Item 29, final plat of Breakville Ridge. Item 31, Kathy Olson, Knox County Engineering and Public Works. Item 32, Kathy Olson, Knox County Engineering and Public Works. Item 35, Sam R. and Lenora M. Enzor. Item 36, Yakoslav Dolko. Item 37, Gene Root. Item 38, Noah Hudson. Item 39, Justin Vaughn. Item 40, Trueline Land Surveying, LLC. Item 42, James McCamey. Item 46, Jimmy E. Hinderlight Sr. Item 47, Brad Pruitt. Item 48B, Feshett property. Item 51, re-subdivision of 360 surveying and mapping property. Item 54, J. Combs. Item 55, Rivergate LLC. Do we have any recusals from the commission? If not, are there any requests to remove an item from the consent list? Anyone like to pull one off to discuss? If not, we're going to vote on it, and if approved, we won't discuss it. All right, 3 times I said that. Chair will entertain a motion. All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Barger, seconded by Commissioner Adams. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. First item on the agenda is item number 7. Applicant Parker Bartholomew. Location south side of West Emerald Avenue, west of Sunrise Street. Approximate size of tract 5.54 or 5,547 square feet. Present zoning RN2. Zoning requested RN4. Existing land use single family residential. Staff recommendation. Deny the RN4 district because it is inconsistent with the intent of the zoning ordinance. Is the applicant present?
Yes, I am.
Do we have any opposition? Any opposition? Seeing no opposition, you may proceed.
All right, I'm going to turn it over to Bentley Marlowe to start out. I think he signed up in opposition to what was said on Tuesday.
Hi there, R. Bentley Marlowe, 322 Douglas, 37921. So on Tuesday at the agenda review on this item, there was a graphic displayed that showed an architectural rendering. Could we put that back on the screen, please? It's not in the case files, I looked. But it was displayed on Tuesday at the agenda review. It showed 2 little duplexes front to back on the lot, and Ms. Hillman presented to you all stating that a non-conforming lot zoned RN3 or 4, when combined with middle housing, could have double duplexes. If you recall, I had this exact issue before you on appeal in December. You may remember my very poorly made model here. Looks very similar to the graphic that was presented to you all on Tuesday. I still would like to see that put on the screen, please. If any of you all remember, that appeal was denied. So this board said, no, you could not have a double duplex even on an RN4 non-conforming lot. This board advised me to appeal to BZA. I learned at that meeting that that interpretation was made by Mr. Peter Ahrens. At BZA in January, I lost that appeal before BZA for challenging the interpretation of a front setback. Mr. Ahrens maintains that it's a front build-to zone. So it is impossible under middle housing to build a double duplex on an RN4 under middle housing. It's impossible to build anything that resembles the rendering that staff presented to you all on Tuesday, but conveniently cannot find today. Impossible. And staff knows it. So I am appalled by the dishonesty coming from staff on this very issue, and I'm appalled that after many, many times of accepting my applications for middle housing on the basis that a millimeter or 2 are off and out of scale on a hand-drawn drawing, that staff somehow finds the time to make very nice-looking renderings for something that's not even proposed in Mr. Bartholomew's case. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Marlowe.
Thank you. Parker Bartholomew, 5406 Summit Ridge Lane. I've provided what we're here to talk about today. It's the 3rd time that I've been here. I was asked at agenda review and in previous meetings why I'm here. After all, on Tuesday, I did receive a building permit for approval of a duplex on this lot under missing middle. So I'll provide you the best answer I can in my short time. To afford a 1-bedroom unit in this zip code, it requires a yearly income of $53,600. My oldest daughter is 14. If she was looking for an apartment right now, her rent would be more than my mortgage. And I bought my home in 2020. Police officers, firefighters, teachers, planning, city, county staff all cannot afford to purchase a home here. If they rent and they're single-income household, they're cost-burdened. We are in a broken market. It's a very complex problem, but one that I think I can provide answers to. And I've been told by Plans Review that they do not discuss hypotheticals. So I bought this lot to try to work through some solutions. Each time I've come, I've shown you multiple items, and since November or September when I submitted, and I've been here now the third time, I've tried to work through the no's that have been given. Between my projects, Mr. Marlowe's projects, and other projects that I did open records requests, I've been able to get some answers. The previous discussions were able to happen on the existing RN2 lot, but the multiple primary building discussion is an RN3 lot. Now, I may be a moron for trying to push these and figure out these solutions, but I think I can. In front of you is 2 tiny homes. These homes are modular certified and they meet all building, zoning, and fire codes. They have Hardy or LP Smart siding and they're on permanent foundations. They're eligible for 30-year home loans, housing vouchers, and they cost less than $100,000. The payment would be less than $700 a month. This is not a hypothetical, but a proven solution. If I'm allowed to build this, we can cut the income requirement to live in this zip code by half. Someone making $14 an hour can become a homeowner. Providing a path for homeownership to the thousands of people in Western Heights, 400 feet from this site, is going to improve the neighborhood. We need to think about the harm not providing housing has done to our neighborhoods. Within 400 feet of this property, we have an RN5, an O, a CN, a CG2, an IMU, and an RN2. RN3 is not out of place or hurting this neighborhood. No one has been crazy enough to think that this is possible, but my desire is to provide housing. Thank you, and I appreciate the extra time.
Thank you. And Mr. Marlowe, I'm disappointed in your remarks, and I don't appreciate you attacking our staff like that. In no way have I ever seen any element of dishonesty from our staff. Young lady, go ahead.
I would like to incorporate for the record about 16 minutes in for about a minute of the YouTube video from Tuesday's agenda review, where you will hear Ms. Hillman say exactly what I accused her of saying, and you'll see that graphic on the board that we can magically no longer find.
Your comments are taken, and appreciate if you take a seat. All right. Ma'am, were you wanting to speak? Did we have someone wanting to speak on this matter?
Sharon McKibben, 900 West Emerald Avenue. What's being proposed seems acceptable, but the utilities and the infrastructure of Emerald Avenue needs to be upgraded for this to be acceptable. The city needs to remove the existing street and rebuild it. KUB would have to upgrade the utilities. Until this is done, what is being proposed is not acceptable.
Thank you for your comments. Commission? Let's see here.
I'll jump in.
Vice Chair Huber.
Yeah, because I struggle with this one because I am 100% on board with trying to provide affordable housing and attainable housing, not even necessarily affordable housing. I think the struggle with the staff, and I'd like to echo Chairman Hill about the staff is doing a great job, I think. I mean, they really work hard at this. They're very conscientious about it. And I think where they're struggling is we've got an area that's all R2. And if you jump to R4, that's going to be, again, I get where you're trying to go, and I applaud that. And I think it's a great idea. I like the tiny homes. I think they're affordable. But going from R2 to R4 in this area is different. I mean, I've supported R4 in other areas inside this district, but it's been closer to the commercial, sidewalks were available, that type of thing. Anyway, I think that's where staff is coming from, that it's a jump. It would be a spot zone inside R2 that's a little hard to reach. So I just wanted to make that comment.
Thank you. Commissioner Midas.
Yeah, I agree with Commissioner Huber. I do want to also say that I think staff's doing a wonderful job. And I did hear Jesse mention multiple times the issue is 2 individual properties on this same lot. She was not condoning this or saying that this was allowed. I do feel like RN4 is not appropriate. It's not even zoned for the RN2 as it is. And I want to go ahead and make a motion to approve staff's recommendation to deny the RN4 district because it's inconsistent with the intent of the zoning ordinance.
Second. We have a motion by Commissioner Midas, seconded by Commissioner Browning, to deny the RN4. All in favor, excuse me, I'm sorry, what? It's okay. It's all right. Okay. Commissioner Gill. Oh, I thought,
okay.
oh, Commissioner Overton. Man, that light sits in between you.
Oh, no worries. I appreciate everyone's comments. I tend to agree. I think I look at this a little bit differently. I think being so close to RN5, office, industrial mixed use, CG1, all the things, I kind of think, and being so close to the city, I understand that this is traditionally a traditional neighborhood, but I think realistically, we can't continue to just say, well, traditionally, these are single-family homes. If we're ever going to be able to address housing affordability, particularly so close to the city, I think that this kind of whole area could be RN4. I know I'm talking in theoretical terms, but I think that this case is a good example to bring points up, like, what Austin, Texas did as far as like changing minimum lot size requirements in, districts super close to the city and how that has impacted housing affordability in a really positive way. They're seeing housing prices and rent prices decrease in Austin because of those changes that they've made. And I think that this is a good example of what we can do here in that vein. And so, I'm in favor of RN4 here, and I think to the extent that it would turn into a slippery slope kind of situation or something where we say this is a precedent, I don't know, at some point the slippery slope does stop. Like reasonable people meet and they look at a different situation and they say, okay, well that doesn't work here. And so, again, I personally think that this whole area of town could be RN4 and we could see a lot of benefit from it. And I just wanted to bring up that the next opportunity we get to reevaluate minimum lot standards, maybe this body should have that conversation, so.
Thank you, Commissioner Overton. Commissioner Higgins.
Yeah, I tend to agree actually on this because when you look at the existing density of this neighborhood and with all of the commercial and industrial zones around it, the RN4, a lot of times you can get higher density with the missing middle route than you can with RN4. So I don't really agree that intentions behind the request aside, I don't completely agree that that RN4 is really out of place here, just because under missing middle, I think that you can pretty much do most of what RN4 allows. That's not to say that we should necessarily zone it RN4 because, like I said, the missing middle kind of allows for higher density on this site. But I do think that it makes sense to kind of have an open mind with some of these historic neighborhoods that are already pretty mixed use, that maybe there's more scenarios than keeping with the historic zone that's always been there.
Seeing no other lights, we have a motion to deny. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Could I see the noes? I mean, 1, 2. 12-2. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to agenda item 11. Applicant is Alex Bodazit. Location, north side of Ball Camp Pike, west of Hazelwood Road, 2.76 acres. Present plan and zoning designation is low-density residential, RN1. Proposed plan designation is medium-density residential. Existing land use is rural residential. This will require three motions. And the staff recommendation for motion 1, as it relates to the sector plan, approve medium-density residential land use classification because it's supported by public infrastructure improvements. Motion 2, as it relates to the one-year plan, approve medium-density residential land use classification because it is supported by public infrastructure improvements. Motion 3, related to rezoning, approve the RN3 General Residential Neighborhood District because it is compatible with surrounding infrastructure and amenities. Is the applicant present? Yes. Do we have opposition? Any opposition? Yes. We do have opposition. All right. What do you got? Okay, we have a Mr. Huh? Okay. We have 4 signed up to speak. Mr. Greg Harris, or first of all, let me ask, would you like to proceed or defer?
Yes, just briefly. David Harbin, 4334 Paper Mill Drive here in Knoxville. On behalf of Mr. Bodazat, we are in agreement with the staff recommendations on this. Our plan is to do about 25 to 30 townhomes on this site right here, so we'll save the rest of our time until after the others speak. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Harbin. All right, Mr. Greg Harris. Mr. Greg Harris.
Good afternoon. My name is Greg Harris. I live at 3201 Kingsmore Drive, Knoxville. We have some concerns. I'm speaking on my behalf. I have concerns about the property being turned into townhouses. Does that mean? Yeah. Don't take that time off there. Anyway, when I was reading through everything and trying to get a grip on this, I only had about a week and a half's notice that this was even going on. Now, I know there's supposed to be some signage there, and there is. There's a few small signs set in a ditch line. But in that area, if you've ever traveled that area, you'll see that ball camp is extremely, extremely busy. All the streets in that area are just overcrowded. They're looking for shortcuts to come through there off Pleasant Ridge and so on, and it's just impossible. What we have right now is just, we're existing. We're not updated. We don't have sidewalks. They say there's amenities there. There's 4 fast food chains there and a couple little Walgreens and a couple other little things. I don't know what they're talking about, shopping and amenities. There's nothing there. And to do that, ball camp is so busy that if you were to try to cross that street, you take it in your own risk. Now, not to mention that there's Victor Ash Park that holds special events, the crowding, the parking, and everything is enormous. We also have 3 schools there. We're adding more cars to school areas that we have children going to. Right there on Merchants, they're opening up a place that has 189 apartments right on the corner there on Merchants and Pleasant Ridge, or 1, 2, and 3 bedroom houses or townhouses. That's a minimum of 184 cars. More than that, if you add 2 cars, you got anywhere from 300 to 400 cars parked in that building alone. Now, if you add the townhouses, there's at least 2 cars per that. Traffic is terrible. Safety is terrible. If you do this, then you're going to have construction coming in and tearing up what little bit of ball camp we got. To ask people to walk to Walgreens or to Walmart to walk down ball camp is impossible. If you've been down there by the ball fields, there's a ditch 2-3 feet deep. It's impassable. For safety's sakes alone and for traffic, going to work, my wife's a school teacher, leaves at 7, has to leave 15 minutes early just to get out of that area, ball camp in Pleasant Ridge. I just take that in consideration.
Thank you for your comments. Let's see, we have Gail Frank. Gail Frank. Okay. I've got 2 different ones, I think. Okay, so who we got?
Hello. He did such a good job. I'm probably going to duplicate some of what he said, but I agree.
I'm sorry, would you care to give your name and address?
Oh, I'm sorry. Gail Frank, I represent Northwest Hills subdivision. My address is 4510 Kinlock Lane, okay? Looking at the staff's recommendations, it says, it's talking about the walkable access along Hinton Drive to a bus stop on Western Avenue, okay? There are no sidewalks on Ball Camp Pike and no crosswalks. So anybody to use this as a reason that this place should be built, people are taking their lives into their own hands, trying to walk along the road and cross to get to the sidewalk. They've also mentioned that Western Avenue receives significant pedestrian improvements. Well, only Western Avenue got it. Ball Camp Pike has had no improvements whatsoever. And Western Avenue is a raceway and a drag strip. I wouldn't be a biker on that street. That's up to them. Anyways, while there have not been any notable private development trends in the immediate area, the city is experiencing ongoing demand for housing. Well, you're pointing out walkable proximity advantages. There is no walkable path along Ball Camp Pike. The community, both of the subdivisions, West Haven and Northwest Hills, you can't get out of your subdivision because cars, there needs to be something done with speed on that street to begin with, but cars are whipping down there and it's like a 1, 2, 3, go and pray. So consider the safety issues when you are talking about increased traffic. Let's see here, I'm sorry to say Now, it also said something that the estimated traffic impact was not required. Why is that? With the how exactly was it determined that traffic wouldn't have any negative impact? There already is such a traffic issue. If you allow rezoning to RN3, it allows the possibility of possibly 39 family units. And most families have 2 vehicles, so there are 75 more cars that are going to try to come out of there.
Thank you, Ms. Frank. We're out of time here, and we've got 2 more folks that would like to speak.
Okay.
And we have Aaron Christner. Aaron Christner. Aaron, if you can try, Mr. Christner, if you can try to keep it in a minute.
A minute?
90 seconds. Yeah. We'll
right,
go
Aaron.
90 seconds here, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Aaron Christner, 3210 Kingsmore Drive. I live in the neighborhood that Gail and Greg live that are adjacent to this property. We're 25 units on 2.7 acres. If we can look at the plot map here, could you zoom out a little bit and go back to the view where it shows all the property lines? Every single house around here is single family, okay? And you want to put 25 units there in 2.7 acres? That's all single family homes. Quarter-acre plots, you can get 9 or 10 units in there. The type of units that you want to put in do not create long-term Knoxville residents, okay? People want to move here, they want to live here. We've got the schools here. West Haven is already has too many kids there in West Haven because there's so many houses around it. Northwest Hills Middle School, an F grade for student experience and performance. One of the few schools in the city, in the KCS system, to receive an F grade. We want to put more people there. There, like Gail mentioned, there is no sidewalk on Ball Camp, okay? It is dangerous. The only time I've been on that road, not in my car, was during COVID, when restaurants opened back up. My wife and I rode our bike to get a Frosty at Wendy's, okay? That's it. I would never, ever walk on that road. Too many people come flying around that curve. I think that this is completely inappropriate for the area. I do agree that that property does need to be improved, okay? lived there for 8 years, yes, it does need to be improved, not in this manner. You cannot do that. Also, we don't feel like the proper notice was given. Yes, there was a sign put up, but I think there's supposed to be, you can correct me if I don't know, for neighborhoods within the area have to be notified within 300 feet or something like that. I'm not sure. A lot of the residents don't feel like we got that. Thank you.
Thank you, and I'll let staff respond about the notification.
So legally, we're required to post an ad in the newspaper. We voluntarily post signs and send postcards to property owners within a 300-foot distance from the subject property.
Thank you, Ms. Hillman. Is there Mr. Brian Sylvie? Brian Sylvie? Or, excuse me, Rob Terry. Rob Terry. Mr. Terry, if you'll respectfully stay within 90 seconds, I'd appreciate it.
Absolutely, I can do that. Rob Terry, I live at 3100 Indigo Lane. I'm the property adjacent on the back corner there. Members of the board, I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. I'm here as a concerned member of the community, speaking in strong opposition of the proposed rezoning of the property on Ball Camp Pike. Let's be honest, what's driving this proposal is greed. One of the 7 deadly sins. We cannot allow greed to find a spot in our homes or even in our neighborhoods. The property is more than just land, it's somebody's dream home, or it could be. It's a part of the natural beauty and the character that makes Ball Camp Pike so special. There's just this strip of land and its trees, its peace, its purpose, all for profit. It's not progress, it's a loss. Our community thrives in single-family homes, as you can see, open space, shared values, and dropping a generic high-density copy and paste multifamily development in the middle of Ball Camp Pike is just simply out of place. It is a disgrace to the families and all who have invested their lives here. We are seeing a pattern all over Knoxville, developers rushing in, carving up the land, overloading its already strained infrastructure, and who pays the price? We do. The people who live here, our roads, our schools, our safety. None of it is considered when profit is the only goal. Ball Camp Pike is narrow, it is winding, it has plenty of blind curves. Adding a development that would require residents to make a blind left out of this road is not only irresponsible, it's dangerous and it puts our families at risk. This is not about being against growth, it is about protecting the integrity of our neighborhood that is already alive and well. It is about honoring the people who have made Ball Camp Pike their home and not paving it over for a short-term goal and gain. Please do not let this rezoning go through. Do not trade our safeties, our values, and our community for somebody else's profit. Thank you.
Thank you.
Upon hearing this, I think it'd probably be best if we had a 30-day postponement so we can come meet during the interim to come meet with them. So I'd ask for a 30-day postponement at this time.
Chair will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion postponed for 30 days by Commissioner Levinson, seconded by Commissioner Adams. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
And I'd like to say, Mr. Harbin, thank you for doing that and taking the time, you and your client, to postpone and meet with the neighbors.
Right. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, I would like to ditto on that. I do have one question, and if it's wait until this comes back, that's fine. But just for clarity on the capital improvements that were referenced as forthcoming. So I don't know if that can get added to the report or. Okay.
I'd also like to add to, it looks like on the street view that there are not sidewalks along Ball Camp Pike. I feel like when I read the report, it was that there was, it reported, but the report said that there was sidewalks. Is that right?
The report references sidewalk access on Hinton. So this property is across the street from the terminus of Hinton Drive, which does have sidewalk access all the way down to Western Avenue.
Okay.
All right, on to agenda item 18. Applicant Reginald Bell, Location, north side of Boyd's Bridge Pike, east of Andes Road, 13.09 acres. Present plan and zoning designation, low-density residential, hillside protection, single-family residential neighborhood, and hillside protection overlay. Proposed plan designation, medium-density residential and hillside protection. Existing land use, agriculture, forestry, vacant land. This will require 3 motions. Staff recommendation. Motion 1, as it relates to sector plan. Deny medium-density residential land use classification because it does not meet any of the criteria for plan amendment. Motion 2, one-year plan. Deny the medium-density residential land use classification because it does not meet any of the criteria for a plan amendment. Motion number 3, rezoning. Deny the RN3 General Residential Neighborhood District because it is incompatible with surrounding development and inconsistent with adopted land use plans. Is the,
I tried to zoom in on one of these, and the Zoom is not working.
which, yes, we are having trouble with Zoom. Which case was it?
The 4423 ball game.
Okay, it was postponed. But, yes, 30 days. 30 days. Yes, they did. Yes. And because of the opposition, the applicant chose to postpone.
Can you write me down as an opposition too?
I'm happy.
We have you.
You know, I'm
Yep.
paying
Okay.
having to walk up 2 blocks.
I'll go speak to him.
Okay.
Town
All
council's
right.
coming.
Okay. We'll have our counselor come speak with you. All right.
Sorry, everybody.
That's okay. All right. Let's see. Where did I leave off? Okay. Is the applicant present?
Reginald Bell, 1348 Pale Moss Way.
Okay. Thank you. Do we have any opposition? Any opposition? Yes, we do. All right. Would you like to speak first, or would you like to wait and let the others speak?
I reserve my time after the
Okay.
opposition.
Thank you. Okay. Mr. Chris Osborne. Chris Osborne.
Chris Osborne, 5208 Cayuga Drive. And I'm also the president of Town Hall East Homeowners Association. When this came up, this is in the Town Hall East area. We met with several of the landowners, or two landowners who owned several lots on this property. And with Mr. Bell, we had a very productive meeting. I think Mr. Bell was very open to listening to what the community was concerned about. We haven't resolved everything yet. I think that we were concerned about the density of, they were proposing roughly 44 units on the property. And there was some concerns about traffic, whether there would be access routes onto Andes or Andover. There was concern about how the water lines would get in, the sewer lines would get in. I think there's an opportunity for us to actually, for Mr. Bell, because he seems so open to talking with the community, to work with the community to find a good solution for this property that works for everybody, but we are not there yet. So we are going to recommend that this be denied. And hopefully we can sit down with them and really come up with a good plan that fits that neighborhood.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Osborne. Oh, anyone else that, I think we saw another hand for opposition. Would anyone else like to speak? Okay. Mr. Bell, would you like to speak?
Yes. Good afternoon. We're trying to address the need for the missing middle. We have 15 acres that can be utilized in order to accommodate a lot of the lack of housing and the affordability of housing in the Knoxville area. So we are proposing to put 44 units. It's going to be mixed between duplexes and townhouses.
Thank you for your comments. Mr. Osborne, you don't have to come back up here, but you're welcome to if you choose. I just had a question. If there were specific issues that you'd like to, I guess, relay to commission that appear unresolved?
Not at this point. So Boyd's Bridge is a heavily trafficked road that is not really designed for the amount of traffic that's on it right now. That entrance is going to come right off a turn, and we get some pretty heavy traffic coming around that turn. So there's concerns about the safety of that exit coming off Boyd's Bridge. There was discussion about whether they would need to build a secondary entrance on either Andy's or the other road on the other side of it, which would be a major concern to both those neighborhoods to see the additional traffic going through there.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
May I speak? I'm representing the owner as his engineer.
And what's your name?
My name is Matthew Sprinkle, 631 Carch Drive, Maryville. I'd just like to thank the property owner for his comments, and I'm working with Mr. Bell. We're going to work with the community and make sure we got a good plan and you know, take all those factors into consideration. But right now, we're just trying to figure out what's the highest and best use for the property to help the neighborhood.
Okay, thank you. All right, Commissioner Adams.
I have a question because the opposition seemed to express that there was a lot of good conversation. The applicant seems to be saying that as well, but we have a recommendation from staff to deny it. This seems like they're asking for time to talk, and it seems like a postponement would be advisable.
I think one party, maybe. I didn't hear it from the applicant. Did I? Or did we?
What I heard was them saying that we're looking forward to working with the community to come up with a good plan, which seemed consistent with what the opposition was saying. But no, I never heard them say postponement, but knowing that there's a denial recommendation, I'm just wondering if that would be, if the applicant or the applicant's representative
Yes,
would be.
a postponement will be amendable with us.
Okay. In terms of the time to be able to meet with the community and have productive dialogue, you know, we have 30 days, 60 days, 90 days as options.
We would most likely go with 60 days.
60 days.
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion for a 60-day postponement of this case.
We have a motion to postpone by Commissioner Adams and seconded by Commissioner Anderson.
Question.
And we have a question from Vice Chair Huber.
Yeah, just a clarification too. I think they said there was going to be 40 to 45, give or take, units you were planning on there. This is a question, I think, for city engineering. There was talk of a second entrance, but I don't think that would trigger, that many units would trigger a necessity for a secondary entrance, if anyone, staff or anybody could maybe address that. Or
Mr. Freeze?
Maybe it does, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the exact number. I was thinking it was 35, but there's also some recent legislation that's happened on the state level. They're trying to increase that number, I think closer to the 70. So I think it would depend on when the development came through, what that exact number would be.
Okay, well, just a point of clarification, I don't want to hold anything up, but just keep that in mind as you're moving forward, talking to the neighbors and working with staff. Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to postpone for 60 days. Is that where we left it? That is. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
22.
Next is agenda item 22, subdivision 1524 Riverside Road. Applicant developer LIA Engineering, location east side of Riverside Road, north of Delrose Drive. Approximate acreage, 2.31 acres. This will require one motion as it relates to the concept plan. Approve the concept plan for 10 lots in the RN2 single-family residential neighborhood zoning district, subject to the 9 noted conditions. And I see the applicant is before us. Do we have any opposition? We do have here of opposition. Would you like to speak first or defer?
this may be the wrong one.
This is Riverside Road? What?
Correct, Riverside Road.
Yeah.
Yep, this is not Riverside Road, though.
Oh, on the screen.
Oh.
Give us a second. But does he want to go first?
Let's see, but while we find it here, would you like to?
Sure, Brandon Simpson, 265 Brookview Center Way, would like to postpone, or not, wait till after opposition.
Okay. All right, we have Jesse Stanton. Jesse Stanton's he here today?
All right. Hi, Jesse Stanton, 1525 Riverside Road, so I'm the house directly across the street. I moved to Riverside Road about 2 years ago and kind of representing a lot of the residents within Riverside Road, as many of us has opposition to this. So there's been kind of one common theme that keeps getting spoke about today, and that's infrastructure. Infrastructure keeps coming up continuously over and over and over that it's a problem. Something I do for a daily living is I teach risk management and proactive decision-making versus reactive decision-making. It's pretty well understood that Knoxville does have a bit of a housing crisis or a housing shortage, and it's driving up prices as a lot of people are moving in. So reactively, we decide, let's build as many houses as we can. What we're not considering is the infrastructure that we're putting them on and how they're gonna get around to places. I don't know how many of you have actually ever been to Riverside Road. I posted a bunch of pictures into the comments, but the narrowest point of Riverside Road is 15 feet wide. I drive a Chevy 2500, and I am not the largest truck that drives up and down that road, as many dump trucks also come through Riverside Road from the waste department there. Along with that narrow point, there is also a very, very blind hill on the south side, which is within 250 feet of the proposed driveway that they are proposing to build. This hill is quite steep, and it is exceptionally blind to all vehicles, including even the wife's small car. So my opposition to this isn't necessarily against them building in there. I'm all for it. We need some more housing. We need some better affordable housing. But to do it within the restrictions of the ordinances and the codes that are there. I mean, ultimately speaking, they're really trying to put profits and maximizing profits over the safety of everyone. Before you really go through and approve this, I would really urge you to come down, take a walk down this road, and remember that this road goes directly to the elementary school where kids walk to and from every single day. And think about it if you were allowing your kid to walk to school and try to just walk with two cars passing each other. It doesn't work. My truck was actually sideswiped about less than a month ago. Didn't cause tons of damage, but I mean, it's a common theme on that road with how narrow it is. Secondly, the walkability around there. I mean, we do have sidewalks on Brooks, which is great there, but the second aspect to that is the proposed development on the 30-acre lot behind as part of Del Rose. That's also trying to dump its, or put its connecting road into Riverside Road there. And so I don't know that we're actually kind of looking at the big picture, thinking of the long-term risks that we're putting into there as we have kids walking around, we have people driving through. It's already a fairly busy road, and 15 foot is just wide enough for my truck and not wide enough for other passing vehicles without driving onto private property. The last and kind of bit of it that really points to kind of them maximizing profits is the current proposal expansion of the Riverside Road is actually to take from my side of the property, which actually has the least amount of right-of-way, where the most amount of right-of-way comes from their development. So they could actually expand and give everybody a better quality of life and work towards expanding Riverside Road in a way that actually makes sense. Expanding towards the what would that be, the west direction there towards my property, there's actually a giant ditch if you look just behind the view that you just had up there. And so it doesn't even make sense to expand towards my section. But yeah, that's really all I got there. I just kind of wanted to bring that to point. But I guess the one last thing I'll say is around the infrastructure is, you know, with all these buildings going on, we do have a lot of issues with the rolling blackouts in the summer, the request to put power down in the winter or put your heat down in the winter. Like, if we continue building before we fix these infrastructure problems, we're going to end up with bigger problems in the long run. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Would the applicant, did the applicant speak? No?
Thank you. Just here to ask for your approval consideration. Worked the last couple months with engineering planning. They've been great to address all the issues, had multiple resubmittals to get all the issues done. I guess the main thing I see is the roadway widening. Some of the comments were which side of the road to widen. We're not taking any property with the road widening. It's done all within the right of way. It's actually more expensive for the developer to widen on the other side of the roadway. It would be cheaper to widen on ours. There are some discussions with engineering that we may go to that side. We're going to just get it thoughtfully designed in the design review. It's just known that it needs to be widened in this area. So yeah, we may go to the other side, whatever side is more practical. The road is pushed closer to this development in this right of way. So it's there's roughly 20 feet from the property line on the other side to the edge of the road. On ours, there's 5 to 10 feet. So to me, it makes sense to widen on the other side, but again, not planning to disturb or take anybody's property on that. So happy to answer any other questions.
Thank you. Commission? Let's see here. Commissioner Overton.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I would just note that, like, I understand that there's infrastructure issues. I think the issue we have on this body is that governments don't typically preemptively spend money on things that aren't yet a problem. So, for example, we don't fund road improvements. We don't vote on capital infrastructure projects. And so the bodies that do, just the nature of the beast, they do that after they see a need for it. They don't do it when there's a theoretical need for it typically. And so to the extent of what's in the, and I know we go based on existing infrastructure and things like that, but just think, you know, just in the broad terms that we've had a lot of discussion today about infrastructure, I think it's important to realize that there are different governmental entities that oversee those things. I think the need for housing, you know, I'll beat that dead horse, I'll cremate the dead horse until y'all are sick of me, but it is a huge problem in our community. And I think there's another, you know, misconception that developers are like nonprofit charities. They're for-profit businesses. That's their right to do it. Sorry, you know what I mean? Like, it just is what it is. And so to the extent that a developer makes money adding housing so that we can have cheaper units and they can continue to, you know, have economic investment in this community, I personally don't have a problem with that. So with all that being said, I'd like to make a motion to approve the concept plan for 10 lots in the RN2 zoning district subject to the 9 conditions listed in staff's report.
We have a motion by Commissioner Overton, seconded by Commissioner Anderson to approve the concept plan for 10 lots in the RN2 zoning district, subject to those 9 noted conditions. Seeing no other lights, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is agenda item 26. This is a re-subdivision of lots 25, 27, and 28 of the Meadowlands subdivision. Applicant developer Benchmark Associates, Inc. Location southeast side of Lett Road, north side of Rocky Meadow Lane. Number of approximate acreage 9.73. Number of lots 4. Zoning is agricultural. This will require 2 motions. First motion, staff recommendation, allow the variance to create one additional lot on a previously approved joint permanent easement without requiring the JPE, joint permanent easement, to meet the applicable requirements of section 3.03.d.3 of the subdivision regulations based on the following evidence of hardships. A, the existing JPE serves 7 large lots under different ownership, and the other owners do not want to bring the existing JPE up to the standards required in section 3.03.d, mandating the JPE to meet the same design and construction standards as a public street would affect these other property owners who are not involved in this proposed subdivision. B, the request and the subject JPE are unique to these properties. It is noteworthy that 2 prior variances were approved to allow additional lots on a substandard JPE. C, the granting of the variation will not be detrimental to the public safety or injurious to other properties in the neighborhood. Knox County Engineering Public Works Department supports this variance for 1 additional lot, subject to providing a suitable turnaround meeting AASHTO standards. Motion 2, approve the request to re-subdivide 3 lots and create 1 additional lot in the agricultural zone. Is the applicant present? And do we have any opposition? Any opposition? I see none. Would the applicant like to speak?
Benny Mormon, 10308 Hardin Valley Road. Simply here to answer and respond to any of your commissioners' questions or concerns. I would say that, make you aware that this is a large tract, small community of mostly family members. When the road was originally built several years ago, they did not build the turnaround where you see the cul-de-sac, and this community is going to benefit from this approval because of the requirement that they will build an AASHTO-approved turnaround. Thank you.
Thank you. Commission.
Motion to, how many motions is this gonna?
You don't have to repeat them. That's a good thing.
Okay.
So you can, we have 2 motions, and 1 is related to the variance, so per staff recommendation.
All right, motion to approve per staff's recommendation
On motion 1.
on motion 1.
All right. We have a motion to approve by Commissioner Higgins, seconded by Commissioner Levinson, as it relates to the variance. Seeing no other lights, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to approve the second motion per staff's recommendation.
All right. We have a motion by Commissioner Higgins, seconded by Commissioner Levinson on motion 2 related to the final plat to approve per staff recommendation. Seeing no other lights, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 27, this will require 2 motions. Re-subdivision of lots 1 and 2 of property of Billy P. Mosier. Applicant developer is Brenda Hauser. Location is northeast of intersection of Ray Road and Spangler Road. Approximate acreage, 2.05 acres. Number of lots, 2. Zoning is agricultural. Variance required, and that is in the staff recommendation to approve the variance for plat approval to include the access easement area in the lot area total. Number 1, a 2-acre lot was created by deed in 1975 in the agricultural zone, which included the area of the access easement. The current subdivision regulations do not allow the access area to be included in the total lot area. Proposed Lot 1 meets the minimum lot size if the access easement is included. Number 2, this situation is unique as the lots were created by deeds from the previous owners. The deeded lot line needs to be corrected as it runs through the house in proposed Lot 2. Number 3, the granting of the variance will not be detrimental to public safety, health, or welfare. Knox County EPW recommends approval of this variance based on the justifications provided by the applicant. Motion 2 as it relates to the final plat. Staff recommendation, approve the final plat for 2 lots in the agricultural zone. Is the applicant present? Yes. Do we have any opposition? Any opposition? Seeing no opposition, would you like to speak? Okay. Commission.
Want to make a motion to approve the variance for the plat approval to include the access easement area and the lot total area as per staff recommendation.
Okay, we have motion one as it relates to the variance. Commissioner Levinson made the motion, and it was seconded by Commissioner Higgins. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Approve the final plat for 2 lots in the A zone. Make a motion.
We have a motion by Commissioner Levinson, seconded by Vice Chair Huber to, motion 2 relates to the final plat, approve the final plat for 2 lots in the agricultural zone. Seeing no other lights, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next, agenda item 33. This will require 2 motions. Applicant Benjamin C. Mullins, location south side of Oak Ridge Highway, east of Gray Hendricks Road, 18.42 acres. Present plan designation and zoning is traditional neighborhood, corridor mixed use, rural conservation, and general business and agricultural. Proposed plan designation and zoning, traditional neighborhood for the RC portion only, planned residential. Existing land use, agricultural, forestry, vacant land, and rural residential. Density proposed, 12 dwelling units. This will require 2 motions. Motion number 1, staff recommendation, deny the traditional neighborhood place type because there are no changes in the landscape or policy considerations to support a plan amendment. Motion 2, as it relates to rezoning, approve the planned residential zone with a density of up to 12 dwelling units per acre for the traditional neighborhood and corridor mixed use place types because it is consistent with the comprehensive plan and supported by residential amenities, subject to the one noted condition. Councilor Mullins.
Yep,
Do we
Ben
have-
Mullins.
Do we have any opposition? We do have opposition. Would you like to speak or defer?
I'll speak first. This will take 2 motions. The first motion is the plan amendment. Staff is recommending a denial for the plan amendment of the 0.7 acres there in the southeast corner of the property. Although I think there could be a compelling argument to actually amend that to the TN place type, we accept staff's recommendation on the plan amendment and do not oppose it. So I'm happy to answer any questions.
All right, so we have Ms. Karen Orr. Karen Orr.
My name's Karen Orr. I live at 7529 Oak Ridge Highway. My property is adjacent to the property being considered for rezoning, the former Arwood family property. This is 1 mile from what we call the center of Carnes, our oldest red light, another mile from the red light to the 1-lane underpass on Byington Beaver Ridge Road. This underpass is used for many Carnes residents and Powell residents to go to Ball Camp Community, Level Road, Cedar Bluff Road, a 1-lane underpass. There is currently a half-mile to a mile backup in the morning and evening rush hours on both sides of the underpass. I brought pictures if you would allow me to submit them later. If you increase the traffic to 1,946 trips per day added to our current load as listed on page 33-4 of the planned amendment, we won't get anywhere. We'll be there forever. My husband and I are not opposed to a planned subdivision being developed on that property, and much of our property is adjacent to theirs. Particularly, there's a huge forested part. It's beautiful. It's been there forever. And if you change the rezoning for the whole property to 12 acres for the entire property, a developer will build to that capacity, no matter what they have on paper. The greed is just too much for them to resist. It won't matter what they say. And like Tim Burchett would say, they're going to put 12 units on every dadgum acre on that property. Sustained growth is possible. The existing zoning is 1 unit per acre. We ask that you keep that zoning to protect the integrity of the community. The current developments, the latest developments have been subdivisions, and we would like for you to be consistent with those recent developments. The forested part of that property, it has trees that are 100 years old because we've counted the rings on our trees on our property. Please preserve our community's character and keep in mind the folks who have lived there for decades, not based on money or people's pockets. We want you to partner with us to increase housing, yet still preserve our beautiful community. We did not receive notice of the one meeting we've had. We found out about it from our neighbor about an hour before the meeting was taken. So I would like to consider a postponement so that we can have more discussion with the developer. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see, we have Mr. Ed Bennett.
My name is Ed Bennett. I reside at 3100 Gray Hendricks Road. My family, grandfather bought that property in 1942 adjacent to this development. I grew up there, my son grew up there. Fast forward several years, the roads will not accommodate the traffic. The runoff from this property floods my mother's and sister's property. My front door and their front doors look directly, like maybe 2 to 3 car lengths widths from that development. The roads, there's kids walking from the middle school out. There's no room for them to walk. The road is narrow. You've got big trucks that come out that road all the time. It's not wide enough. The infrastructure's not there for it. I know we've talked about infrastructure all day, but it's the truth. The highway is backed up from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock every day. The highway, Gray Hendricks Road, everything. I've got petitions out in the community in Carnes at 5 different places. Right now, I submitted them yesterday. There's over 200 signatures against it. We had a meeting 2 to 3 weeks ago in the community, 32 people, everybody's against it. Nobody wants it because it creates havoc in the afternoon right now. Traffic, everything is just havoc through there, and you're going to add to it by putting this development in there. We do not want that at all. And I speak for my neighbor, my friend. He just bought the property next door to it. He's wanting to build. They're right in his, all the way around him, in his front door and everywhere else. It's horrible. I want some of you folks to come out there and walk that, look at that, not just the property, but the area. Drive through there from 3 o'clock till 6 o'clock in the evening. Go through there. You can't get anywhere. I come home from work from Oak Ridge. I can't get anywhere through there. Bumper to bumper, bumper to bumper. Then I see kids walking from the middle school. They may get run over, they may not, who knows? You don't have sidewalks, the road ain't wide enough to accommodate anything. You do not need this. I understand you need housing, but not there. I grew up there. I understand what they're wanting to do, the conservation on the backside of that property. That's fine. But the front part of that, in front of us, out to the highway, no. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Brian Silby. Mr. Silby, if you would please try to keep your remarks to, say, a minute, minute and a half.
This should be short because it's a lot of repeating, but Brian Silby, 3717 Stone Ridge Drive. There's a lot of emotion attached to this piece of property for the Bennetts. For me, I actually grew up on the other road on Brownview at the end. I used to cut through and play in those woods all the time as a kid. I did buy the piece of property he's talking about up in the corner. That's the cleared part. Just recently from the family that lived there. We were planning on building our finally forever home. I want to be the grandparent that all the kids want to come to. And it's going to be tough. The infrastructure, everybody talks about that. We've all talked about it, and I realize that there are other entities that take care of all that. It has nothing to do with you guys. Traffic is heavy on Gray Hendricks. Traffic is terrible on Oak Ridge Highway. My wife and I were talking, when I first moved out there to Carnes, when I was 8, the we had one red light. That was it. You know, and I realized we have to grow. I know there's a shortage of housing. I'm trying to work on that with some other properties that I have to help you guys. We just asked that 12 units per acre is a little much. I mean, that's, you know, 221 houses roughly. I don't think the highway can take that. You've got, if you pull up the picture, the actual picture, and I'll be done here in just a second. You're looking at entryways for a daycare, driveways, Butler's Animal Clinic, and then you have 2 entry exits to the Exxon right there on that side. And then you're going to include another entry exit for a subdivision with 221 houses in it. I don't even think if we widen the road, it's going to handle that. That's really all I got to say.
Thank you. I think that's all in opposition. Oh, we got one more? Okay. What, you got a name?
No. Good afternoon. Thank you. My name's Jennifer Spencer. My address is 7882 Brownview Road. Our land is directly behind this, where the yellow area is there. At the back there, the very back. We just purchased this land. We own 15 acres there. We purchased it because I have an autistic son who needed to have some privacy and calm in our lives. And we have just been hit with the 15 acres that we spent our life savings on is now going to have all these units in front of us. There is a significant amount of trees there, that we have a tremendous amount of wildlife that comes up through there. Our house goes to the top of our land goes to the top of Beaver Ridge there, if you can see. And then on the other side of Beaver Ridge, the Beaver Ridge, there's that land there that's empty before that other subdivision there on, I think it's Epi Cove. No, Olin Cove and Epi Cove, yeah. So that land behind that neighborhood there, off of Ball Road, goes to the top of Beaver Ridge. The bottom there goes down to our house, and all the wildlife is in there. So it goes up and down that ridge, and it goes into that land, and that's where they bed at night. They have a water source there. And so when you're disturbing all that wildlife has no place to go.
Ma'am, if you could wrap up, please.
We ask that you please leave I'm not totally opposed to the housing in small numbers. I would greatly ask that you leave as much trees as possible.
Thank you for your comments.
Do I need to put my name here?
Yeah, yes.
Thank you. There are 2 motions. This one's just on the plan amendment. I don't know if you want me to address the zoning and density at this point or not. Be happy to do so. It's kind of hard to separate the two. You want to go ahead and vote to deny the plan amendment and then discuss the motions?
I think that's fine, yeah. You may.
Go ahead and talk, okay. This property is 18.42 acres. I actually represent Mr. Denton, who is the owner of the property. He's a Carnes native. He bought the property with the initial intent to fix up the house on that property and to build his house there. But he began getting offers to purchase the property and believed that a rezoning would be in his best interest to go ahead and do so. So we asked initially we asked for an RB zoning and for the plan amendment because RB is directly related to the TN place type. Before this was in the LDR, I think, sector plan, and it was changed during Advanced Knox to the traditional neighborhood, which allows RB and also allows consideration for PR up to 24 units an acre. After talking to staff, you'll see this one has a February application number on it. They had some serious considerations or concerns with Gray Hendricks. Our only access was along what essentially serves as a private drive. There is some undedicated right-of-way there, but on Gray Hendricks. And so we postponed it. We had site distance considerations with that hairpin curve there. And so Mr. Denton began to work out an agreement with the Exxon to the north about land swap. And you can see, the original gray area is the area of the original property dimensions. And we've been able to kind of swap that land to give us access directly to Oak Ridge Highway. TDOT is aware of this. There's a letter in your packet. They have agreed with the access point. We'd be sharing access point with the Exxon there. And now that we have direct access to Oak Ridge, we amended our application for PR at 12 units an acre, which staff is supportive of that. We did postpone this, one, to work out the issue with the access, and also to reach out to the neighbors. We've had a meeting with all these fine folks behind us. We know what their concerns are, and we know they're sincere with that. But we also think that this property checks the boxes that the county wants to check as for where you want to put this type of development. The place type was put here for TN for a reason. We do have access to Oak Ridge Highway, which is a major arterial road with currently 46 feet of right-of-way and 46 feet of pavement, and 85 feet of right-of-way. This is adjacent to several amenities. As staff pointed out, the Carnes Library and the Carnes Community Park is just to the east of this. There's baseball fields, there's a playground, there's a public pool there. To the west, we have the Carnes Elementary and Middle School. And this, with the PR zoning, this would require another development plan to move forward. I know there's a lot of concerns, especially the rear of that property. There is some old hardwood there, but about half of what you see that's forested had been disturbed in the past when it was used for agricultural property. There's an old farm pond that you can't see now because the trees have grown up around it there, but a lot of that has been disturbed. And then as you get closer to the back, there is, you can see some of the old scrub pines that have grown in. That's a clear indication that it's been probably disturbed in the past. You can see the farm pond there as, before it's dried up and it had been filled in. But the property, further to the south, the PR would allow the flexibility to, design a development that's more sensitive to those environmentally sensitive areas. We would move forward with a development plan that would come back through this body. The neighbors would have notice of it. They'd have an opportunity to comment and address the concerns they have with the actual plan. We don't have an actual plan yet. Mr. Denton does now have the property under contract, but they have not come forward with a plan as exactly what they want to do. We know they are looking at this property for a mix of single-family residential and townhomes with amenities, but they haven't gotten that far. And of course, I'm not representing them. I'm representing the property owner right now. But whatever they move forward with will come back through this body, and the neighbors and all of y'all will have an opportunity to look at it and see what the concerns are. Look at where buffers may be appropriate. Look at the traffic impact analysis that would be required and see if there's any additional considerations that we need to take into account for that. And this is one step in the process. There were two neighborhood meetings. The first one we weren't invited to, and the second one we helped set up through District Commissioner Hill, so we could talk to the neighbors. And we're happy to continue to talk to them as this process moves forward. If we'll encourage the developer that's under contract to do so as well. So we think this makes sense. It has staff's recommendation on it. The concerns about stormwater and buffering, that's something that can and will be addressed, further along in the process. But now we're looking at, what zoning makes sense. And I understand the people who have lived there for a while and they're used to seeing this as woodlands and open field. I know why they wouldn't want that to change. Honestly, if I lived close to it, I probably wouldn't be very happy about it changing either. But, it is Mr. Denton's property, and it is something that does make sense for the plans that are in place. And we know we need housing. We know we need attainable housing, and there's only two types of housing you can build. Either it's built by the private developers and it increases the housing stock and the free market economics that then drive prices, or it's subsidized housing, which is no one really wants those in their neighborhood either. So we think it meets the plan. We think it, of course, staff is supportive of it, and we'd ask that you approve per staff's recommendation for the zoning. Thank you.
Thank you. Commission?
Want to make a
Commissioner
mo-
Levinson.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, after
Go
you.
ahead. I was recognizing you.
Oh, you were? Oh, okay. I'd like, as per staff recommendations, first is to deny the traditional neighborhood place type because there's no changes in the landscape or policy considerations to support the plan amendment.
We have a motion by Commissioner Levinson, seconded by Commissioner Anderson to, on motion one, deny the traditional neighborhood place type because there are no changes in landscape or policy considerations to support a plan amendment. Seeing no other lights, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
And to the neighbors, I'm sure that as time goes on, they're going to work towards having peace with neighbors. And, but as of right now, I move to approve the planned residential zone with density up to 12 dwellings per acre for the Tennessee or traditional neighborhood and CMU place types because it's consistent with the comprehensive plan and support the residential amenities subject to one condition as per staff recommendation.
All right, we have on motion two, approved plan residential with a density of up to 12 dwelling units per acre per staff recommendation. That was by Commissioner Levinson, seconded by Commissioner Anderson. Vice Chair Huber.
I guess I just wanted to make a comment with respect to this because we're seeing a lot of this. We spent so much time, many years, going through the comprehensive use plan, really digging down and trying to understand where the county and the city, or the county in this case, really wanted to show density and have density, and this is one. It's the old adage of the only thing constant is change. I mean, it happens, and it is happening here. So this body, we're trying to do the best we can with the plans that we have. You know, I see Commissioner Frazier sitting out here, and she deals with it monthly as well, because we're kind of in this tweener world right now of, we have a comprehensive use plan, but we don't have the UDO, the Unified Development Ordinance, done yet. I know we just started that process, but so I look forward to trying to get that married with the plan. But I do think this is a good area for growth, and that's where it's showing with the traditional neighborhood. So I would be supportive of the application.
All right. Okay, we have Commissioner Midas and then Commissioner Biggs.
I guess my question's for Ms. Hillman. I think this is, it doesn't sound like anyone's opposed to the PR zone. I just kind of wondered how you came up with the 12, given that, I know we have a new comprehensive plan, but yeah, how did you come up with that 12 DU on that?
Yeah, so the access to a major arterial was a big part of it. The residential assets in the area, so having the elementary and middle school so close, having the library right across the street, having a big community park nearby to the east, those are the kinds of amenities that you want to be in close proximity to, in addition to some new service-oriented commercial amenities along the corridor. So these are the things we think about when considering more intensive residential development. So it seemed to support that request.
Okay, thank you.
I'll be quick with my question. I think it was kind of along the same lines as Commissioner Midas. Yeah, definitely agree that this corridor makes sense for added density. It looks like, if I'm looking at the map correctly, like existing kind of PRs in the area are closer to that like 5 range. So I think, like 12 versus 5, there's obviously a significant jump there. Certainly appreciate that there are amenities that make this a good area for density. But I was kind of just curious about, I guess, the existing PRs maybe predated kind of our current thinking around density. Is that right?
Yeah, I think a big focus with the comprehensive plan was concentrating more intensive development where there's more supportive infrastructure. So I think that's why the place type here changed from LDR, low density residential, to TN, traditional neighborhood.
Okay, thank you.
Councilor Mullins, would you like to speak?
No, I just wanted to point out, in the LDR before, 5 was the maximum that could be put there. So under the old plan, they put the maximum density that was allowed under that sector plan. But then the TN place type allows up to 24 units an acre to be considered, and so we're half of that. So, thank you.
Commissioner Levinson, do you have anything to add? Or
I'm good.
you good? Okay, all right. So we have a motion and a second. Is that correct? Are we on the plan amendment or the rezoning? Rezoning. Motion 2. And I got a Vice Chair Huber live, so let's
Sorry.
go.
Just
Vice
a
Chair.
quick comment, follow up on that. You know, with respect to the plan, I think it's important to note that RB general residential is a direct use. You know, it's what we call it, directly related. Now, in this location, I do feel like it should be a planned zone because it is so close to some of the other residential at a lower density versus a RB general residential, which allows everything by right. That, you know, they could come in there and build apartments to the maximum 12 units an acre. Yet with the planned residential, it will come back in front of us and we will be able to evaluate the plan versus it just going straight down to engineering. Thank you.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second on the rezoning to approve planned residential 12 dwelling units per staff recommendation. Seeing no other lights, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next, agenda item 43, applicant James Smith, location southwest side of Maloney Road, west of Ginn Farm Drive, 24.34 acres. Present zoning is agricultural floodway. Zoning requested is planned residential floodway. Existing land use, water, agricultural, forestry, vacant land, and rural residential. Density proposed up to 2 dwelling units per acre. This will require one motion. Staff recommendation: approve the planned residential zone with up to 2 dwelling units per acre because it's consistent with the Knox County Comprehensive Plan and surrounding development. A floodway zone would be retained. Is the applicant present?
Storm Schuler, 307 Blue Peacock Way, Seymour.
All right. Do we have any opposition? We do have opposition. Would you like to speak first, Mr. Schuler?
I'll defer.
Okay.
Good afternoon. I'm Suzanne Ball. I'm the president of the Gazebo at Waterford Cove Homeowners Association. We're the community directly across the cove. Yes, that one. Okay, so we're here. We have a couple of quick questions regarding the application, and maybe we can get these answered. I note that it indicates here that this piece was annexed into the city in 1993. KGIS has always indicated that that is not the case, that they are county, not city. So one of those two is probably inaccurate, and we'd like to get that clarified. Can you do that?
I'm not exactly sure what you're asking. You want to?
Whether this is accurate in the application, that they were annexed into the city, even though KGIS maps indicate they are not.
We would have to look into that. I don't know.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate your doing that, yes. I also note that this is going to require geotechnical survey before you can approve or disapprove it. Has that been done already? Has that survey been submitted?
Don't know.
You'll take that into consideration, however, before you make a decision, correct? Yes?
If that's the requirement, we will.
Okay,
Yes.
very good, very good. With regard to the impact that this will have on traffic, we have the same issues that other neighborhoods do. Maloney Road is only 17 feet wide. Our community has an entrance into our community that's a left turn across oncoming traffic with a hill that is a blind hill followed by a blind curve. So adding this amount of traffic would be dangerous for our residents. We have 27 properties in our community. So please keep that in mind when you make this decision. I also note that under the Utilities Board section, under current property information, it shows that they are not on septic. Speaking with KUB about that, they indicated that This community is not on sewer, so they're either on sewer or septic, and maybe that's something we would prefer you to look at before you make your decision as well, please. KUB indicates that they would need to tie into the sewer system, which is inside our community gates at this point, and that they would need an easement across our property. We prefer not to do that. So we would please ask you to consider not changing the zoning for this property and adding the up to 48 new homes in that area.
Thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
Is that all we got?
All right, I'd like to start out by kind of answering Suzanne's questions. To my knowledge, this property is not in the city. There's never been any indication to us that it was in the city. We've done surveys, normal zoning stuff. A lot of the geotechnical work and that type of thing would be handled more on the concept side of things with engineering and the other staff members. That's certainly part of what we could do during a concept approval after the zoning is approved. Same thing with the traffic she mentioned. And then as far as the sewer goes, we have an approval letter from KUB that we're able to tie on to the sewer. There hasn't been a specific design about access points or anything like that. Happy to work with the community, and if there is something that we need to work with the neighboring homeowners, we'll certainly do so. There has been a little bit of misinformation possibly spread about the way that the case study was put out there. What our ultimate intent here, we're a partnership that has adjacent properties out on the point there, serving the existing, on the existing driveway. There's 2 vacant lots, and then the end lot and the middle lot where our home is all part of this partnership. We've been subjected to an easement on the property next door for a while now. Now what we want to do is to unify all these properties under one development with a safer access point onto Maloney Road, working with engineering to do that. And PR zoning of 2 is what we need to achieve that. Another misconception was that the entire 24-acre parcel was subjected to the density. I think only an area above a certain contour is subjected to the PR2 density. That puts it much closer to the mid-20s single-family upscale house development that we intend to do on this property, matching similar character to the existing homes that are there. Basically, we ask that you guys approve per the staff recommendation at 2 per acre of PR. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Adams.
I've got 2 questions. You can stay up there.
Yeah.
The first one is about what you just brought up in terms of the density.
Yes.
Because you said you were being subjected to sorry to nitpick, but I think that's what you're requesting is the PR2.
So, and Mike may be able to speak to this some too. The entirety of the parcel, I think, is 24 acres, but there's a contour line of the floodway that only the area above that specific contour line ties into the zoning itself. Can you elaborate, maybe?
Yes, the policy is that properties along the lake, the 820 contour, which is the flowage easement for TVA, is what we, any land above the 820 is what we count for density. We don't allow the land below to count towards the density.
Okay, so just trying to understand that there's this 820 line, but it's that the portion above that has the ability to be at PR2, right?
Well, the area below the 820 will also be zone PR2, but we don't count that towards the density, like the acreage towards the density for the site. Okay. So whatever acreage they have above the 820 is what we would calculate for the maximum number of units allowed.
Okay, okay. The other question is about something that came up in one of the public comments that said that this property is slated for part of the Greenway. And I wondered what your awareness is about that and what your plans are regarding that.
I have seen the Greenway being installed further up Maloney Road toward Alcoa Highway. You know, none of this property, to my knowledge, has a Greenway slated for it. You know, that's certainly something that we would have a conversation about if it was brought to us. But to my knowledge and to our surveyor's knowledge, there is no slated Greenway in front of this property.
Could I ask Kelsey to pull up that picture?
Mr. Elliott, would you like to speak?
Yeah, I could add some clarity. When he comes in with a concept plan, we will request sidewalks along the frontage because there is a plan to tie the Greenway back into the park. So he will be asked to install sidewalks along his frontage
Okay,
as
great.
part of the Greenway.
Great, no need. Thank you.
Any other comments? Commissioner? Chair will entertain a motion. Oh, Commissioner Browning.
Oh, I was just going to say, I think this looks like a fabulous development, and I think staff's got it right. So I'd like to make a motion to approve the PR Plan residential zone with up to 2 dwelling units per acre because it is consistent with the Knox County Comprehensive Plan and surrounding development. The floodway zone would be retained.
All right, so we have a motion to approve plan residential up to 2 dwelling units per acre per staff recommendation, and that was by Commissioner Browning, and we're going to give that second to Commissioner Daly. See no other lights, I do not think. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's take about a 10-minute break. You never get a 5-minute break.
You did that because I was up next, didn't you? Dadgum.
All right, let's get started. Agenda item 44. Applicant Masana Investments LLC, location east side of Hill Road, north of Cabbage Lane, and across from the terminus of Cantrell Boulevard, 14.13 acres. Present zoning is agricultural, zoning requested, plan residential, existing land use, agricultural, forestry, and vacant land. Density proposed is up to 4 dwelling units per acre. Staff recommendation is to approve the planned residential zone up to 4 dwelling units per acre because it's consistent with the Knox County Comprehensive Plan and the surrounding area. And we have the applicant before us. Do we have any opposition? We do have opposition. Mr. Davis, you would like to defer. Okay. So, Stan Nally, and then we'll have 2 more, Harvey Fitch and David Crosby. Is that right? Okay.
Good afternoon. I'd like to start out by complimenting the Planning Commission and the staff. This is my first experience doing anything with Planning Commission, and I got to say, your website and the staff's responsiveness is very, very good. I appreciate that. My concern with this development is not adverse to rezoning from agricultural to planned residential. I always knew that beautiful patch of woods would once they go to a subdivision of some kind. But my concern is with the proposed density at 4 dwelling units per acre. The staff, in its own analysis of the property, admits that the surrounding developments, the surrounding neighborhoods, are up to 3 dwelling units per acre. Did a little analysis of myself, and you'll see that in my table that I submitted with a comment on April 9th. And of the 5 surrounding neighborhoods comprising of almost 400 houses, the actual density is about 2.2 dwelling units per acre. Now, I know you have to round it up to 3, and I get that, but so I wanted to just leave that with you, that the area has, for a long time, been developing at that density. With a TVA easement that runs through the property from the southeast to the northwest at 150 feet wide, and it's not shown on the plat there, but it's in the deed. With that removed and with the infrastructure space that it's going to take to develop this property, you're going to end up putting the 56 houses, which would be allowed at 4 dwelling units per acre. You're going to end up putting that on a lot smaller acreage, and it would be very compact. That's not to address the fact that Hill Road is it's a county road. It's a country road, if you will, and it's very curvy. There are a lot of blind hills, and the place where this would come out, where the expected, if that driveway is shown there, is to be the entrance, then that's a blind, it's just around a blind curve and just over a blind hill. Hill Road is already saturated. The utilities are pretty well, Hallsdale Powell Utility District has done a good job, but it's pretty well saturated. So, bottom line is this. I'd like to request of the Planning Commission that the approval be at 3 dwelling units per acre rather than 4.
Thank you. Mr. Harvey Fitch.
Hi, I'm Harvey Fitch. I live at 4308 Foothills Drive, which is the adjoining property. And I probably have one of the same complaints everybody has, that the traffic in that area is totally ridiculous. I've lived here since 2019. When I moved here in 2019, I could come and go from my house to just about anywhere at just about any time except for the school, when the school's let out. And now I can't. During the, I'll say the rush hours to and from work, it probably adds a good 40 minutes from me to get to my house from, I'll say, a half a mile away. There's an intersection at Norris Freeway and Emory Road where when I first moved here, that traffic light turned red. There would probably be maybe a line that got to be about 15 to 20 cars long. Now, during that rush hour for work, that line gets to be maybe a half a mile to 3/4 of a mile long. And I only see it getting worse. If you come during the hours when school is letting out, when you go up Andersonville Pike, as soon as you turn from the traffic light to Emory Road onto Andersonville Pike, it's a downhill about 200 feet down the hill. As soon as you pass the service driveway to the funeral home, there's a small bridge that goes over a creek, okay? That bridge is just barely wide enough for 2 cars to pass by each other. When school is letting out, the parents picking up their children line up on that road till they're past that bridge. So that means if you're heading in that direction towards the school, you're not going nowhere.
Mr. Fitch, if you could wrap up, please, I'd appreciate it.
You pretty much have to stop. Okay? If there needs to be an ambulance or a fire apparatus, they're not going to get through there. One other thing I'd like to bring up with the question, which I saw nothing about in those plans, is the access to Hill Road would be the only access, or are they considering adding or trying to add another entranceway into or through one of the other developments? And that would concern me because we've already got too much traffic going through our developments now. And that would be a concern that I would have, or a question that I would like to know of.
Appreciate your comments, and the developer, I'm sure, will address that to you. And we have one more speaker, and that's Mr. David Crosby. Mr. Crosby, if you keep your comments, please, to a minute, minute and a half, I'd appreciate it.
I'll do my best.
Okay.
I'm David Crosby. I live at Lot 4 in Foothills Drive. It's directly behind the property. All I see is wood line from my house. The easement, I wasn't sure where it was exactly, but I can tell you between Lot 4 and my next door neighbor, I live on the proverbial castle on a hill, and it's also a physical castle on a hill. It's the highest property in the entire subdivision. The water runs down between my house and my neighbor's. And when you get to the property, I know the property a lot better than the current owner who inherited it after their parents died 8 years ago. There's a straight slope all the way through the entire property. I don't know how on earth you can even build on it. You can stand on certain areas of the property and the topography is so bad that you can't see the tops of the trees in other areas. Are we trusting Hallsdale Powell to drain this? that's another conversation for another day. But be realistic about this. I don't know where this is supposed to go. You know, we read that Halls has it. It's the rural community that's left of Knoxville. It's kind of all you have left of rural community in Knoxville. Halls has it. We don't know what it has, but it has it. It has the best schools in Knoxville, aside from Farragut being second place. It has the highest economy, retired people that are contributing taxes here. My wife is the lead teacher at Halls Elementary, and I can tell you, Halls has it, but it won't have us if this goes through, because I will be gone.
Thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
Mr. Davis?
Scott Davis, P.O. Box 11315, Knoxville 37939. I appreciate y'all's time. I respectfully request y'all approve as per MPC staff recommendation.
Commission? Commissioner Barger.
I'd like to make a motion to approve per staff recommendation.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Barger, seconded by Commissioner Anderson to approve per staff recommendation. I think we have some more, Vice Chair Huber.
Yeah, I just wanted to point out something on it. As I was looking at the KGIS maps, and there was some talk about everything being zoned 3 units an acre around there, but there's also a large subdivision next door zoned RA, residential A, which if you actually do the calculations of what that allows, it's really more in the density of 4 units an acre. It's what it actually allows. It's 10,000 square feet lot, and there's 43,000 plus acres, or pardon me, feet in a acre. Hence, you can get about 4 units per the acre per that zoning. So I just don't, I don't think it's too far out of the ordinary for the area. Thank you.
Commissioner Browning.
Yes, and I'm in full support of the motion as well, but out of respect for that one gentleman, Mr. Davis, I know you've developed thousands of these things. He's got some concern on the topography and the drainage and all that stuff. Can you just speak to that a little bit?
Yes, sir. A couple of things. One, we've done 176 subdivisions, I think, and we tried not to do additional entrances because we don't like to drive through traffic because we think it's potentially dangerous, people cutting through, and also people generally don't want us to connect over to their existing subdivision and generate additional traffic. So we try our best not to have additional entrances for safety purposes, for crime purposes, and also for the adjoining subdivisions. The topography, the majority of the topography you see there, as our calculations, is about 12, 13% across. And we also have a lot of area under the TVA power lines we can use for detention. We do not anticipate having any stormwater runoff issues on the property.
Commissioner Adams.
To address the question of density, I appreciate the opposition and what Commissioner Huber said, but wondered if Ms. Warner could speak to the thought process that went into the 4.
We also did consider that RA allows 10,000 square foot lots, so it's approximately 4 per acre. I think that was one of the bigger ones. There is one subdivision a little bit north that is PR up to 4. That's also relatively close right there. And I think with that consideration, we didn't see PR up to 4 as something out of reach for this area.
Oh, we do have a motion second? I've already forgotten that. Okay. You're waiting on me then. Had a moment. All right. So we have a motion and a second to approve per staff recommendation up to 4 dwelling units per acre. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you all for your time and your service. Thank you.
Thanks for waking me up. All right, agenda item 45, applicants 1222 Development LLC, location south side of Millertown Pike, east of Presnell Road, 10.46 acres. Present zoning's agriculture. Zoning requested plan residential and existing land use agricultural, forestry, and vacant land. Density proposed up to 7.5 dwelling units per acre. Staff recommendation is to approve the plan residential zone up to 4 dwelling units per acre because it's consistent with Knox County Comprehensive Plan and change of conditions. Is the applicant present?
I am.
All right, and do we have any opposition? Any opposition? Seeing no opposition, would you like to speak?
Oh, absolutely. I'm happy to answer any questions. I know that staff has recommended a reduction to 4 units an acre from my original request of 7.5. I wanted to just explain the thought process of what I was looking for. This is, at least in my mind, currently designed as a 55 and up single-level townhome community. It was to be something that, again, is an HOA-driven community, no maintenance, obviously controlled by that, including the upkeep. The thought process in asking for that density, I understand there's a considerable amount of development around it that is within the 4 to 5 unit an acre range. This property happens to be the border of the SR overlay. And so, understandably, wouldn't ask for 12. You could never fit 12 of what we're building. These are 1 level, 2-car garage, 2-bed, 2-bath townhomes. But something in that range makes this property considerably more feasible, especially with the cost of infrastructure to tie into the new sewer that's been brought. And so, again, I guess I would say I very respectfully disagree with staff and would ask for at least some consideration of a density higher than 4, but we'll happy to submit to whatever this commission decides.
Thank you. Commission?
I've got a quick question.
Right.
You had mentioned the sewer. Is that a new improvement in the area?
It is. So the neighboring development that is currently being done and about to be platted, at least the first phase of it there to the right in RC, brought sewer from behind the property off of Rutledge Pike. And so in order to be able to accomplish our development, we're then going to be taking part in a cost share with the developer to pay for the capacity in the pumping station and the infrastructure we'll be using.
Commissioner Midas.
I understand where you're coming from. I'll say I appreciate, especially over the past couple of votes, having guidance from the comprehensive plan regarding density. I feel like staff's got this right at the current density, and I will go ahead and make a motion to approve the planned residential zone up to 4 dwelling units per acre because it's consistent with Knox County Comprehensive Plan and change of conditions.
Okay. All right. Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Midas, seconded by Commissioner Adams to approve per staff recommendation up to 4 dwelling units per acre. Seeing no other lights, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. Next is agenda item 49, subdivision Isabel Estates, applicant developer Eagle Bend Development, location north, east, and south sides of Moonbeam Lane and Nightshade Lane, north of Tall Shadow Lane. Approximate acreage, 5.67 acres. Zoning plan residential up to 3 dwelling units per acre. Existing land use, agricultural, forestry, vacant land. Proposed use, detached residential subdivision. Number of lots, 24. Staff recommendation, approve the modification of condition 3 for the Isabel Estates concept plan, 10-SC-21-C, as requested by applicant in condition 1, subject to the 2 noted conditions. Is the applicant present? Do we have any opposition?
Yes, sir.
All right. If each of you will come up to the podium and give me your name and address, I'd appreciate it.
Thank you. My name is Paul Barrow. I live at 6712 Tall Shadow Lane, Knoxville. And I'm here today with a little bit of lack of understanding about exactly what is being asked. I believe what is being asked is that a memorandum of understanding be presented to D.R. Horton so that Knox County can modify the intersection of Brackett and Emory. If that's the case, I'm all for it. What I am opposed to is any further development until that work is physically complete. And it did not sound to me as when I read the message and when I read this, it was not clear to me. It sounded as though D.R. Horton would be given permission to go ahead and complete the development prior to this intersection being completed. It's a very, very unsafe situation now. I heard one of your members earlier say that based on theory, work is not going to be done. I'm sympathetic to and in agreement with that, but this is not theory. This is a very, very dangerous situation as it stands right now. If indeed permission is given to D.R. Horton to continue to develop prior to this intersection physically being complete, I can almost guarantee that there's going to be an accident there. It's a very dangerous situation as it is, so I would ask, please, that you give that consideration. We all are in agreement that the intersection must be modified. My request is have that intersection modified before any further development. Thank you. Thank you for your service. Thank you for letting me speak today.
Thank you. Mr. Reynolds or Mr. Elliott, any comment to that?
Yeah, I'll address this, Chairman Hill. Yeah, we had talked to TDOT about this. This is state route, obviously. And I asked that question. I said, you know, at what point do you want these lots platted and created? And the state said that they would allow, be agreeable to the lots being platted once the notice to proceed for construction had been issued. So I don't know how long it takes to D.R. Horton or whomever's buying these lots to build a home, but essentially this is probably a 3 to 4 month, 5 month roadway construction project, pretty small. So the state would be willing to grant it, or has agreed to allow the work to commence or the lots be created at such time that the contractor has mobilized to the site. So within 3 to 5 months, the roadway would be completed at that point.
Thank you, Mr. Snowden. Okay, I think we had another person wanting to speak. Is that right?
Yes, sir. My name is Perry Kaiser.
Come on, if you don't care, just wait till you get to the podium so that we can hear.
My name is Perry Kaiser, 6716 Tall Shadow Lane, neighbors with Paul here. I had the same concerns. We were told when we moved into the area, it was supposed to be, we knew it was going to be an 83 house development. We were told phase 1 was 63, which they've completed, and prior to the road work being done on Emory and Brackett, that before they can continue on with phase 2. So we just want to get some clarification that was mentioned about when the work was going to be done, because it is a very dangerous area. It's a blind hill coming down, and plus the left and right turns are going into Brackett has been, yeah, it's just not, it's not safe. And along with that, Brackett itself has been beat up with all the construction work, and we're wondering what the consideration is for Brackett being repaved or redone on that one.
Mr. Snowden?
Yes, and I agree with the gentleman that road has degraded pretty quickly with that construction traffic. So we're actually in the process, it'll be repaved this summer, so you guys will have that road improved in the very near future.
Thank you, sir.
Did Mr. Snowden answer your first question concern? To your satisfaction?
I'll be honest, with the echo in here, it was hard for me to even hear it all.
It sounded to me like it was likely that the improvement would be made prior to people living there. Is that right?
Yes, Commissioner. Chairman Hill, essentially, sir, the state has allowed the development to occur, but they want the lots to be created at such time the contractor mobilizes to the site. So I think the thought was that the roadway construction, house construction would run concurrently so that when the houses are occupied, essentially the turn lane would be complete, was their logic.
Gotcha. I think that's a mistake.
Okay.
But I
Thank you.
appreciate the clarification.
Okay. All right. Okay, let's see. Commission. Don't tell me I already have a motion. Okay, Vice Chair Huber.
Yeah, I think with the, with the legally binding document that's in place now with the MOU, I understand what you're saying about the timing of it, but if they're going to be mobilizing and working on this project, I personally don't have any issue with it. I think the community is covered with that legal document. So I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the modification of condition number 3 for Isabel Estates Concept Plan 10-SC-21-C as requested by the applicant in condition number 1, subject to 2 conditions.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to approve per staff recommendation by Vice Chair Huber, seconded by, was that Commissioner Levinson? Okay, Commissioner Levinson. Let's see here. Seeing no other lights, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. All right.
Thank you all again for your time and service.
Thank you.
Everything looks great. Y'all happy with all the improvements and what? You're not happy with it?
No, we're fine.
Thank y'all. Have a good day. Thank you.
All right, moving on to agenda item 50, subdivisions Belltown, applicant developer Belltown LLC, location north of Liberty Bell Road terminus, north of the Golden Bell Street terminus, approximate acreage 55.14 acres, zoning agriculture and planned development, existing land use agricultural forestry, vacant land, proposed use detached residential subdivision, number of lots 161. Let's see here. We've got, oh boy, we've got 6 motions. If y'all want to loosen your legs and move around, it's going to take me a while to read these. So motion number 1, approve the variance to reduce the minimum vertical curve on Road H from STA 6 plus 45 plus 7.95 from K equals 25.00 to K equals 23.23 based on the following evidence of hardship. A, natural topography prevents the ideal extension of a vertical curve without requiring excessive cut and fill, and the reduced K value will allow for less filling within the adjacent closed contour. B, the site has several closed contours and a TVA easement that are unique to the site. C, approval of the variance is not anticipated to be detrimental to public safety, health, or welfare because the request meets AASHTO design standards. Knox County Department of Engineering and Public Works recommends approval of this variance based on justification provided by the applicant. Motion 2, related to variance 2, approve the variance to reduce the minimum vertical curve on Road I from STA 6 plus 75 to 7 plus 61.9 from K equals 25.00 to K equals 23.82. A, natural topography in the area makes it challenging to meet the standards with the intersection of Road P and Alley C in the close proximity and prevents the ideal extension of a vertical curve without requiring excessive cut and fill. B, the location of this request has topographic constraints and the site has several closed contours and a TVA easement and are unique to this site. C, approval of variance is not anticipated to be detrimental to public safety, health, or welfare because the request meets AASHTO official design standards. Knox County Department of Engineering and Public Works recommends approval of this variance based on the justification provided by the applicant. Motion 3, variance 3. Approve the variance to reduce the minimum broken back tangent on Road K3 to STA 0 plus 69 to 1 plus 16 from 150 feet to 47 feet. A, the shape of the property and the topography in this location did not allow the street grid to connect further to the west, resulting in a short loop road. B, the location of this request has topographic constraints and the site has several closed contours and a TVA easement that are unique to this site. C, approval of variance is not anticipated to be detrimental to public safety, health, or welfare because of the stop condition on Road K3 and the short loop road will result in low traffic speeds. Knox County Department of Engineering and Public Works recommends approval of this variance based on the justification provided by the applicant. Motion 4, variance 4, approve the variance to reduce the minimum intersection angle for Road K3 at Liberty Bell Road at STA 18 plus 75 from 75 degrees to 73.91 degrees. A, reducing intersection angle allows the road to follow the natural contour of the land, preserving slope integrity. B, the shortness of this loop, the road does not allow for this intersection to be a greater angle without resulting in other road design issues. C, approval of variance is not anticipated to be detrimental to public safety, health, or welfare because the minimum site distance can be obtained in both directions. Knox County Department of Engineering and Public Works recommends approval of this variance based on justification provided by the applicant. Motion 5, alternative design standards. Approve the alternative design standards based on the justification provided by the applicant and the recommendations of Knox County Department of Engineering and Public Works. Motion 6, concept. Approve the concept plan subject to the 11 noted conditions. Is the applicant present? All right. Do we have any opposition? Seeing no opposition, Mr. Sanderson, would you like to speak?
Thank you, Mike and staff, for going through that. It wasn't easy to read. It definitely wasn't easy to review. Thank you.
All right. Commission, you don't have to repeat it if you make the motion. All right, Commissioner Barger.
I'll do it. Okay. Motion 1, I'd like to make a motion to approve the variance to reduce the minimum vertical curve on Road H as read.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Barger, and that was seconded by Commissioner Daly. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Make a motion to approve the variance to reduce the minimum vertical curve on Road I as read.
Second.
We have a motion to approve per staff recommendation on motion 2, variance 2, by Commissioner Barger, and that was seconded by Commissioner Daly. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Make a motion to approve the variance to reduce the minimum broken back tangent on Road K3 as per read.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Barger, seconded by Commissioner Daly on motion 3, variance 3, per staff recommendation. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Make a motion to approve the variance to reduce the minimum intersection angle for Road K3 as per read.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Barger, seconded by Commissioner Daly on motion 4, variance 4, per staff recommendation. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Make a motion to approve the alternative design standards based on the justification provided by the applicant and the recommendations of Knox County Department of Engineering and Public Works.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Barger, seconded by Commissioner Daly on motion 5 on alternative design standards to approve per staff recommendation. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Make a motion to approve the concept plan subject to the 11 listed conditions.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Barger, seconded by Commissioner Daly on motion 6 related to the concept plan to approve per staff recommendation subject to 11 noted conditions. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right. Agenda item 52. This will require 4 motions. Subdivision, the Plains, applicant developer, Knoxville Habitat for Humanity. Location, southeast of Tribute Lane Terminus, south of Asheville Highway. Approximate acreage, 16.74 acres. Zoning, plain residential up to 4.5 dwelling units per acre. Existing land use, agriculture, forestry, vacant land. Proposed use, attached residential subdivision. Number of lots, 74. Staff recommendation on motion 1 related to variance, approve the requested variance to reduce the minimum broken back curve tangent on Road B from 150 feet to 142 feet at STA 5+00 based on following evidence of hardship presented by the applicant. A, the reduced tangent length will allow the road to better follow the property shape and topography. B, the topographic conditions are unique to this site and have not been created by any person who has an interest in the property. C, the granting of the variation will not be detrimental to public safety, health, or welfare because adequate site distance can be maintained through the horizontal curves at both ends of the tangents. Motion 2, alternative design standards. Approve the alternative design standard based on the justification provided by the applicant and the recommendations of the Knox County Department of Engineering and Public Works. Motion 3, concept, approve the concept plan subject to 7 conditions. Motion 4, development plan, approve the development plan for up to 74 attached houses on individual lots subject to 2 noted conditions. Is the applicant present? All right. Do we have any opposition? Any opposition? Seeing no opposition, would you like to speak?
Bill Terry, 1501 Washington Avenue. I just wanted to say that the staff is doing a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Commission, let's see here. Commissioner Levinson.
I want to make a motion to approve the request variance to reduce the minimum broken back curve tangent on Road B from 150 to 142 at station at STA 5+0 based on the following evidence of hardship presented by the applicant. The following.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Levinson, seconded by Commissioner Barger, to approve motion 1 variance. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Make a motion to approve the alternative design standard based on justification provided by the applicant and the recommendation of Knox County Department of Engineering and Public Works.
We have a motion by Commissioner Levinson, seconded by Commissioner Barger, related to motion 2 to approve for staff recommendation on the alternative design standard. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
I want to make a motion to approve the concept plan subject to 7 conditions.
We have a motion by Commissioner Levinson, seconded by Commissioner Barger, to approve the concept plan subject to the 7 noted conditions. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
I want to approve the development plan for up to 74 attached houses on individual lots subject to the 2 conditions.
We have a motion by Commissioner Levinson, seconded by Commissioner Barger, to approve development plan for up to 74 attached houses on individual lots, subject to the 2 noted conditions. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Fifty-three. Agenda item 53, applicant Mark C. Tucker. Location, northwest corner of the intersection of Duck Pond Way and Pond Runway. 9,992 square feet. Zoning is planned residential up to 4 dwelling units per acre. Existing land use, agricultural, forestry, and vacant land. Proposed use is single-family homes. Staff recommendation is to approve the development plan for a detached house on Lot 72 of the site plan, subject to the 4 conditions. All right. I'm assuming Councilor Mullins is representing the applicant, and do we have opposition? We do have opposition. Would you like to speak or defer?
I'll go ahead and speak on this one and reserve any time I have remaining to address opposition's concerns. Ben Mullins, 550 West Main Street. This is a development plan for 1 lot in the parks at Babley subdivision. Little history on this property. There were a couple of zonings to combine this property. One in 2007 for the bottom part for 7 units an acre. The top part was later zoned for 5 units an acre. There was a plat, which this property, you can see highlighted. That part was in 2008, I believe. It was platted as common area. Of course, we all, if you've worked in the real estate business or familiar with development, 2008, lots of things happened with the market, and this subdivision really didn't get built out, and the properties really didn't get sold. And it was later bought by my client, who began building out the subdivision. And in 2018, what I handed out, that was a plat that was filed and recorded, approved in 2018, that divided those 2 lots, which were previously common area, into 2 buildable lots. Fast forward to 2024, and my client got 2 building permits to build 2 homes on that lot, and that it came to the attention that even though the concept plan was approved and recorded and filed with the Register of Deeds, a development plan didn't go through on that property. And so they pulled the permits. We went and filed this development plan application to move forward, hoping to develop those 2 lots. Through the development plan review process, we learned that there was an attempted dedication of right-of-way. I don't think County Commission ever accepted it, but it does show up as actually reducing the acreage on the property from the lower portion, the portion that's zoned as 4 units an acre, from 8.4 units to 8.7 acres, which makes a difference, which means we don't have currently the density to develop both of the lots. So we've revised our application to move forward with the single lot. That is, I think, I get these mixed up in my head, make sure I get it right, which is now lot 72. Lot 73, we worked with staff and legal to put a plat note on it that it currently is not developable. It would take some future action to come up with the additional density to develop that lot. So we're here talking about just building a home on lot 72. That requires a development plan. Staff has recommended approval of that. I know there's some other concerns regarding the HOA and some communications regarding the HOA itself that doesn't really address, what we are looking at for a development plan is, the PR, there's no, meets the minimum lot sizes for the planned residential zone. It's already been, platted. We just need the development plan to be able to move forward to get a building permit for a single home on this lot, and we'd ask that you follow staff's recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you. Commission? Oh, I'm sorry, we have opposition. Ms. Skowinski, is that right?
Very good.
All right.
A lot of people get it wrong.
Yeah.
So hi, my name is Susan Skowinski, and I'm here speaking on behalf of myself and the other concerned homeowners in the association at the Park at Babylay subdivision. We respectfully ask that you deny the approval of development of Lot 72. This proposal does more than place one house. It alters the foundational design of our neighborhood. It undermines community trust and violates both our governing documents and key principles of the Knox County Comprehensive Plan. I have 5 points to support this statement. 1, this was designated common area land, as he said. It was not meant to be built on. The Lot 72 was originally part of the community's designated 1 acre common area, not a buildable lot. The 2018 plat that carved it out occurred without notice or input from the homeowners that resided there at the time. Nothing was displayed in the community or postcard sent. I do recognize that you did post it in your little article on the news. Importantly, though, this contradicts our covenant, which requires common areas to be preserved for the benefit of all property owners, and the developer's declaration to protecting the value and the desirability of the property. Importantly, all Knox County tax assessor homeowner cards today still reference the original 2008 plat. And it shows it as the common area. That plat is a document that every buyer, realtor, lender, and title company consults to when making these purchasing decisions. Approving development now is going to rewrite history and risk eroding trust in our official records and public process. Number 2, incompatible lot size disrupts our character of our neighborhood. Lot 72 is about 40 feet shallower than every other lot in the subdivision, which is 115 feet. They are out of scale, and it is out of scale and incompatible with the neighbor's architectural rhythm. It does not fit the consistency in size and character of our neighborhood. This also violates your own implementation policy 2 of the Knox County Comprehensive Plan, which calls for development that is sensitive to existing character, community character. A house squeezed on to a remnant of common area land does not meet that standard. HOA governance is inactive currently and unacceptable. This HOA remains controlled solely by the developer and his spouse. There have been no annual meetings as required by our bylaws, no publicly available board minutes or financials, despite our homeowner requests. We have requested these in a certified letter, but have had no response. This has been over 30 days now. Also, my community signed a majority of homeowners asking the developer to withdraw this application, and it has been ignored. We have gotten no response, not one word. It's a clear rejection of our community input. This sets a harmful and irreversible precedence to what you're doing today. The Lot 72, if it's approved, and Lot 73, if it were to be moved forward, opens the door to further privatization of community land. This undermines our public trust, homeowner rights, and a county's long-term development vision. The Knox County Comprehensive Plan emphasizes transparency, compact development that enhances our neighborhoods, and coordination between the stakeholders. There has been no coordination. This application fails on all counts. So in closing, this isn't just a simple addition of one house. It's a reversal of our original plans, a contradiction of governing covenants, and a breach of community trust. Approving this would signal that designated common spaces can be sold off and reclassified without transparency or other homeowner consent. When we bought our homes, we bought into the common areas. On behalf of the homeowners who bought into the vision by this 2008 plat and who continue to be guided by it because your county records reference it, I respectfully ask you to deny this development. One house is not going to make a difference to the Knox County's housing shortage. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kowinski. Commissioner Adams.
May I have I think I had a couple of minutes left to address. Appreciate the time. I believe most of the property owners bought this property after the 2018 replat. So, you know, their properties were platted in 2008. And so, yes, if you go to the property assessor's office and you click on, you go through on KGIS, you click on the property information, you can see when the house was bought. If you go, click on, and you see the plat, you see that individual bought it Loveday in 2019, and the plat, though, still refers to when their lot was platted. But that's not attached to the deed when they closed the document, and the 2018 concept that did change this from common area to two developable lots, that is full compliance with the planned residential zone. As far as the lot sizes, not the density because of the right-of-way. That was already in place in 2018 when most of the individuals in this subdivision did purchase their properties. I don't represent the HOA on the governance issue. I think the majority of the homes, or at least a substantial portion of them, are still owned by the developer and it hasn't been turned over to the entire HOA yet. But I do understand that the documents that Ms. Swinski has requested have been mailed to her. But again, we don't address HOA issues here. We don't address covenants and restrictions issues. We address, what does the zoning allow and the requirements of a development plan. And per staff's recommendation, we meet that to be able to move forward with the development of the single home on this lot. So we would ask that you approve that. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Adams.
I've got a couple of questions related to the historical aspects. I don't know if this is to Councilor Blakeney or a staff member, but when we approve PR, the language typically around that is, we're giving PR so there can be increased density. We're recognizing that the developer may do something different just to help with circumstances of that property, and that typically that means there may be some type of amenity that is provided through that. And over the years, when we've struggled with what does the word amenity really mean? A lot of times it is referred to as, well, it's a common area, it's just a common area. So my question is about, because this case brings it up, what legal, what is legal in terms of if it was passed as a PR zone and the plan showed common areas, and that's how the PR zone was established, and then those common areas, which were the amenities, are sold off, what's the legality of that?
Do you want to, yeah, I was going to say I wouldn't mind to hear that. Do you have a planning position on that? No, I'd have to, I don't know if I could. Yeah.
Counselor, did you want to speak?
I just wanted to address, Commissioner Adams, I appreciate the question. I think, yes, the PR zone does require common areas, and there are common areas here. But when it's zoned, the plan didn't move forward. So when it was zoned PR at 4 units an acre, there wasn't identified what area was going to be common area and what wasn't. That's the reason a subsequent concept plan and development plan was approved and moved forward. And then it was ultimately amended before, before this was really fully developed. And so, that was part of that process. So when it was zoned at PR, there's not a plan at that time to show we're giving you the PR because you have this many acres of common area. It's just based upon the density, and then the development plan is what ultimately moves forward with that. And so there were two, there was a development plan approved that this was common area, and then it was then reconcepted to take these two, because they are flat and they are along the private road, Duck Pond Way. So I think, we are allowed to revise our plans and move forward, especially in circumstances like this, where you had a failed subdivision, a development that went out of business, if you will, and then someone came in and then reinvested in it and then tweaked that plan to make that work. But if you click on the detention ponds 31.03, you click on that and you see other areas highlighted. Those are the other common areas there. That large part is a detention pond, but those other highlighted portions of it are also common area that are reserved for this.
So thank you, and I appreciate that understanding that you are representing someone. I did want to get an answer from our council.
I don't, at the outset first, I'm not sure that from a staff standpoint, from planning, that the staff of planning would actually take a very specific position on an issue like that. What I can tell you is that I don't disagree with Councilor Mullins' general assessment of the existence of the law, and it gives me comfort to see those who are also lawyers nodding along with what I'm saying here. But for the purposes of where we are right now in this discussion, I appreciate your question, because obviously Councilor Mullins is here as an advocate and not in the role that I am in for the commission, but I don't disagree with his interpretation of the law.
Thank you.
Sure.
And my point is that this is a case that's, I don't remember seeing this kind of question before in my time on Planning Commission, but I know how much we've leaned into what, this plan gets PR, we have common areas, and so I just wanted to make sure there wasn't a precedent being set and that we knew we were agreeing to or not agreeing to.
What I can also tell you that we did have a meeting specifically about this case with the county and with staff and myself involved to take a look at some of the issues that you've just raised.
The other question is also, I think, legal in nature. Again, I understand that we don't have jurisdiction over an HOA. That's not what we're here for. But in the case where the HOA is not functioning, like, again, how does that actually play out if there's not a body to really represent or respond to some of the issues that are bubbling up through this case?
As a practical matter, that it would be a civil matter that could potentially be raised in litigation, but would not have any specific, the Planning Commission in of itself wouldn't have any specific input on the status or activity or lack of activity of an HOA.
Mr. Reynolds, did you want to comment?
And I just wanted to just clarify that, and maybe I'm not sure if this is what Councilor Mullins intended when he was mentioning the concept plans, but when the two lots were created, that was the final plat. There wasn't a separate planning commission action regarding those two lots in that location. It was just as a final plat only. Just wanted to clarify that.
There should have been, and if there was a development plan to move forward then, we would address that issue back in 2018 instead of now. I think it was an inadvertent miss on everybody's part.
Yeah, I thank you for all the clarifications. And Councilor Mullins, I think you understand where I'm coming from with my questions, because it seems like there's a lot of not great feelings right now about how this is playing out. Sounds like that from what I am hearing, it seems that everything has been legal, but there are a lot of misperceptions about what that space was supposed to be, and it's unfortunate when we get to this point where, if there'd been some communication prior, it might have helped
I don't
a bit.
disagree, but we're dealing with the table it's set.
All right, Commissioner Gill.
Can I make one more comment, please?
Bear with us just a minute. Let's get through some comments from commission, and there may be an afforded opportunity.
Okay, so I just, not to continue along on those comments, but those are a lot of where I was also kind of headed on here. But just to be completely clear and clarify and simplify this, is that when I was looking at the ownership reports on those different areas, those common areas definitely were quitclaimed and ceded to the homeowners association, and they are listed as such on the plat. And these two lots that we're referencing here, I don't see any record that ever happened. So these lots, when they were platted, have always remained the developer's lots. Is that fair to say?
That's what we understand.
So at no point where these actually legally became common area. So this is not a situation, as was suggested in some of the public comments, that this was common land and then somehow it was removed from that designation as common land and given back to the developer, and that the HOA never voted on this. These were never under the HOA's purview at any
the
point.
deeds, that's right. By the plat, it was initially intended to be common area, and then that was revised in 2018. But those lots, they have been platted. There's tax identification numbers assigned to them. There have been taxes being paid on them, like any other individually owned lot would be, where common area is tax exempt.
Right. So the confusion is centering around that this is in the mind of the public common area, but in reality it has never been common area, even if it was on a particular development plan that is no longer in effect, is what you're bringing us to. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Anderson.
So I'm struggling a little bit with some of the comments, because I don't think that we need to make a determination about whether it's legal to build something and sell it on the common area. I don't want us as a body to make it appear as though we're approving or disapproving something because of that. So I'd like to make a motion to approve per staff's recommendation, because I think that staff's recommendation is based upon the information that we as a body should look at in approving or disapproving something. And so, anyhow, I'd like to make that motion, but I'd also like to caveat it with saying to the opposition that your concerns are real, and you probably should speak to an attorney and have them look at that if you feel like that's a concern. I don't think we can't make that determination. And again, I want to stress that I think as a vote here is not legally stamping something as proper or improper. It's just based upon what our role is and what information staff has, we're approving or disapproving. So that's my motion.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Anderson to approve the development plan. Let's see, am I on the right one here? Is it this one? Yeah, to approve the development plan for a detached house on lot 72 of the site plan, subject to those four noted conditions, and that was seconded by Vice Chair Huber. Let's see. Seeing no other lights, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right. On to appointing a nominating committee to present a slate of officers for the 25-26 term at May 8, 2025 Planning Commission. And I am asking Commissioner Perez, Commissioner Browning, Commissioner Boyer to bring us that slate of officers, if you would so do that. All right. We are adjourned. Browning, Perez.
And you have not historically voted, you haven't done that as a vote, you just make the appointment.
I
and
do.
it gets in the.